Yo! It is 7 o'clock and we are ready to roll. Hello everyone. Welcome to tonight's episode of Rescuers, a mall, the depths of the mall, mall's depth. You know, I should know this considering I put it on there, but Beryl doesn't do shit. Beryl's too busy keeping her nose plugged away into a book right now. She doesn't even know what's happening. In any case, we have some exciting stuff for you tonight. Tonight's episode is going to be broken up into three bits. Oh, really? Is it ads? That's unfortunate. You can learn the title. As long as there's audio and visual. That's true. That's all you need. But But I was gonna say is that tonight's episode is gonna be split up into 3 bits. So we will have 2 separate breaks between each of the segments. So that'll be fun. You'll have plenty of time for potty breaks. The thing all together runs about like 3 hours, about the normal length of one of our shows, so. Or Game of Santos anyway. So without further ado, let us get into part 1 of what was it? Saving Private Galil. I think that's what it was. Here we go. Yay! How exciting! Thanks everyone for joining us tonight on our the next episode of this whole thing. Ooh, this music got real intense real quick.
Oh no.
Let's not go that intense just yet. We're just starting.
Just yet?
This is just the beginning of a night of terror. Okay, so as a recap, Galil, you have found yourself awoken in the hut of some strange benefactor, a person, a creature, a demon of sorts, who goes by the name of Rubrion. Purple skinned, has like tiefling like horns that curve over the back of his head. His eyes, this golden light. His nails fingers kind of tipped in these claws that are also like of this golden dipped material. He has a set of large bat-like wings that he keeps close over his body, mimicking at times the look of a black leather cloak that kind of hangs over his body. After having awoken and kind of him updating you to the fact that he had found you on the shore not far from his little encampment, you had reached out to the best of your ability to Afriel, trying to make some sort of connection across the plains, and although it was faint and difficult to maintain, you managed. Now you've been here, awake at the very least, for what seems like only a few hours, perhaps, if that. How long you have been inside the abyss is kind of hard to say. But what you do know is that you need to find a way out. Trying to find a way back to the place that you've come from, the material plane. And now you find yourself in this gaping maw, the realm of Demogorgon, a place known for its madness. So you know time is short. How long do you have until that madness sets in? It's uncertain. The fastest way to get back is unknown. But Rubrion says there might be someone who knows a way to get back to the material plane in the city, a demon city that lies on the other side of this jungle. But you'll need to traverse it. And after having fed you a very interesting meal, you guys have set off trekking along this narrow path through the forests or jungles of the Gaping Maw. So you move through, kind of chops his way with this sword that he has at his side. Occasionally pushes branches aside to allow you to go past, but the underbrush here is thick. And even though you're following a path, it's not a very well or often apparently traveled path, and it continues onwards for quite some ways, passing through various parts of the forest. Occasionally, creatures seem to like fly out at your approach, and it kind of startles you, and you kind of prepare intense, but Rubrion ignores it and just keeps walking. Oreo at your side kind of just like seems to stand, tries to occasionally maneuver to where she's at your side, but with the brush kind of creeping in on both sides, either has to like go behind you or maneuver in front of you, how you having to slow down to like maneuver around each other as you continue along this path. What are you doing? Or are you, there's anything you like to do or say as you guys travel?
Are you sure we're going the right way?
You ask Rubrion.
Mm-hmm.
If there is anything I'm certain of, this path is the one that leads to the city. That being said, however, it has been some time since I have made my way this direction. I try to avoid going to the city if at all possible.
And why is that?
Why would I want to go there? The cities here are nothing like the cities I'm sure you're used to. Things here tend to be slightly more on the chaotic side, if you will.
Is there anything I should know about this city before we get there?
Oh, we've got a good hike in front of us. Nothing you have to worry about as of now. I would say probably you don't want to start a fight. Because everything in the city will want to start a fight with you. And if there's one major setback, it'd be to start a brawl in the middle of this place. Everything's bloodthirsty and eager to climb the ladder, as it were.
Weren't they try and kill me for being a human, though, down here?
Probably. I wouldn't go flashing about your pretty face, if that's what you're concerned about.
As he's saying this, I'm literally going through my bag and pulling out the Mask of the Raven Queen.
Okay.
I mean, this would do me some good down here.
He stops for a moment, turns and looks at what you have. Just like,
To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what that is supposed to be. Probably not, though. It looks a little... Look at me.
he kind of makes a show of like his face. Like, not like he's necessarily making fun of you, but he's just also kind of like,
I would say just keep a low profile. If anything else, we can just play that you are my plaything. A slave. As long as you do what I say, we shouldn't have a problem. They won't mess with me. And if it looks like you're my property, then they definitely will not mess with you.
Oh, so you hold power over some people?
People. That's a strong word in these situations. No, I wouldn't say that I necessarily hold any sway over people. But they know a top dog when they see one.
He continues to walk along the path.
Same.
There comes a point when you hear he stops you and just like says for you to listen. You notice that the little creatures which you have been hearing echoing throughout the forest stopped. And it's silent. Except for the occasional like insects that kind of just like buzz around and then disappear. Make a perception check for me.
19.
19.
Oh, 18.
18.
18.
You kind of eyes adjusting to this dim light. You have dark vision, right? Yeah.
Up to 120.
Nice. Okay, so this dark vision, this dim light actually looks rather relatively normal to you, but it's interesting that when you stop and focus and look around, plants have this like water slick texture to them. It's almost as if like there's been kind of like this rain. It kind of just like everything kind of seems to be dripping with moisture. But it's relatively nice. Everything has a very... There's like a lot of bioluminescence to the undergrowth here. And the more that you still and don't move, the more it kind of starts to brighten and liven up. The noises are still gone, but you're able to kind of look around and take in the surroundings. If it weren't for the fact that you were in the abyss, this actually could possibly be a really pretty place. I wouldn't say it's to the degree that like Pandora from Avatar, you know, at night when everything was just like purples and blues. It's not like that, you know, it's not like that kind of crazy. But in that sense of it just having this very alien like feel to it, like as tall as some of these trees are, there are mushrooms that grow to the same expansiveness, and their underbellies kind of seem to pulse with a really dim, hazy light. Finally, you hear it distantly. Something moving. Moving through the brush. And you can see Rubrion just like his wings kind of like furl behind him, but seem ready. It's almost like a cat ready to pounce. And then whatever it is continues to walk away. Going further and further and just till eventually it fades out of sight. And then he's like, okay. And gestures for you to continue onwards.
You be careful. Watch where you step.
And then he continues on the path. You can see him step over a couple of like branches and stuff on the ground. Make a stealth check for me.
17 plus 13.
And for Oreo?
17 plus 7.
Nice.
I'm not doing math after that. I'm sorry.
You're nope, not doing math. It's fine.
Nope.
Just
It's past
figure it
20.
out. Yeah, it's over 20. You're good. You figure it out. You continue to follow along quietly, silently, and eventually you get to a small little clearing. You've probably been traveling for what feels like hours, but there's been little change in the scenery. It's just like jungle forever at this point. But eventually you get to this point where the path kind of opens up into a little clearing. You can see that there is a sort of structure that is here. It's a large boulder that around it has some jagged posts or poles that are sticking out in like this like defensive array all the way around it. The boulder as much as it's like one large boulder. There's like, it looks like there's a couple others that were piled up on top, and they create these tiny little cubby holes. And Rubrion turns to you and just puts a finger up to his mouth.
Excuse me. Is anybody home?
He calls out towards the rocks. And in that moment, you can hear like a little something that sounds like it's moves in the dark shadows of the rocks that are on top of each other. And you see two little teeny pairs of eyes that like blink with greenish light, kind of open and stare outwards. And you can hear little voices.
Oh, what is this? Oh, hello. What do we have here? Looks like a visitor.
A small creature, probably no more than 1.5 feet tall, like clambers out. It's got this like frog-like warty like skin. So it's like walks on all four, or is like crawls out on all fours, and once it gets out of the rock, kind of like stands a little bit. It almost has like squat like somewhere between a gremlin and like a goblin, but it's just short, and his head looks like overly large for its body, and kind of like these large eyes. The grin of its toothy maw just curls up in a very almost Cheshire cat like impossible smile.
Oh, what is this? What are you doing here?
Rubrion gestures back towards you.
I have property that I'm taking to the city. Do you know if the path is clear?
It dawns on you now. You're understanding what the conversation is being said, but they're speaking in Infernal. So it's like you're understanding it, but it's just like you're realizing the language that you're hearing is this like Infernal speak. The creature, like you see another kind of crawl up from the underside of the rock, like it's upside down, and its head just kind of like turns in this horrible like twisting way where it's like upside down, but then it like rights itself like an owl, almost as if there's no bones in its body, as it just kind of like looks.
The way is clear. Yes, the way is clear.
Like they're just like all these little voices start coming from the boulders.
What do you want for... What will you pay us?
Rubrion digs into a pocket and like pulls out what looks like a large chunk of blackened meat. It's almost gooey from wherever the pocket that he'd carried. You've seen this like little side bag that he had been carrying. It's the bottom of it's like almost sopping with some sort of wetness. He like tosses the meat onto the rock, and one of them just like snatches it away.
Always good to see you, neighbors. Have a pleasant one.
And the words that he says, like, it sounds completely dead sarcastic. And that one he said in common, as there's probably not too many words in Infernal that would equate to pleasant. He just kind of keeps walking in. Come along. He like gestures for you to follow, and just like,
come along, slave.
what do you do?
I look at the creatures back to Oreo, then I'm just like, come on.
You see the little creatures like as they like start to tear into the flesh, just like straight up, like you're like as it like tears on and just kind of like watches as you pass, and then you just hear like the little chuckles and laughs that kind of come from the place. You continue on and walk. You've walked for another while, it seems. Time here is so strange, since there's no real difference in the dimness, just perpetual time. Eventually, as you guys have been walking, Rubrion comes to a point where he's like, slows and starts looking around.
We've been traveling for some time. It's probably a good point for us to rest. I know that your body will probably take some adjusting now that you're awake. Believe it or not, I believe a full cycle has been passed. At least, if I remember what cycles are like back on the material plane.
Full cycle. You mean we've been traveling for a whole day?
Ah, that was the word I was looking for. Yes, coming to night, I believe is the term.
Oh. It still looks lit up here.
Oh, that's certain. It never changes here. It's part of the whole maddening thing. It's constantly at this dingy duskiness. Very rarely is there any more light in the sky. And usually when there is, it's probably not a good thing.
He like finds a place off to the side. There's a large down tree that he kind of like sets up a little, like scooches in underneath the tree and puts out a rolling pack. And it's like the only place that is, even though it's not raining, but it has that like sticky humidity. And you've noticed that as you've been walking, the wetness that kind of just comes onto you, you're just like, ugh, wipe it on your clothes as best you can. And it comes off a little, but it just seems to be like damp still.
Why is it so humid here?
Rubrion shrugs, like pulls his knees up to his chest and like starts chewing at some jerky. Hold on.
Something that you'll have to get used to as long as you're here, I'm afraid. There's just a constant damp to the world. It's always in this state of slickness, I suppose. It doesn't rain, there are no clouds. There is no sun here. No moon, no stars. It's just this for eternity. Want some?
Like extends the jerky to you.
I go ahead and take it. Peace.
Well, go on. It's not going to kill you.
Take a bite. Make a constitution check for me. Not a save, just a check.
Whew, thank God. I rolled a 16. Plus check.
Mhm.
17.
Nice. It's looks like jerky. You ever had a date before? Like those little, like eating a date? This is almost like a little fig. Or like a dried fig. Have you ever had dried fig before?
No.
No? So it comes off in your mouth almost wet. Whereas you're expecting like a dried jerky, it's almost like you realize like almost like a raw piece of meat that's just been out for a long time. So it's like chewy, and there's the slightest taste of iron to it. A little bit on the gamey side. Not really sure what it was. It tasted neither like meat exactly, nor was it completely like a fruit or vegetable. It was just fibrous and squishy. And the juice that came out was not particularly sweet, but not particularly bitter.
You took that rather well, considering the last meal that you had. Seems like you're adjusting. Not too terribly. Things here may not be as delicious as you're used to, but they will keep you alive.
Better than starving to death.
Also that. I am curious, though, what your death here would be like. A lot of times, the dead are the ones who come here. The dead or the dying. The fact that you're so
He looks you up and down.
filled with life is curious.
Kind of smirks to himself and then like goes back to chewing on his jerky.
I'm just like, I break off a small piece. Give it to Oreo to eat.
Oreo just kind of pushes your hand away.
You sure?
She lays down, just kind of like. You can see you've been traveling now for a while. Her form starts to look like it's becoming transparent and fading. And then suddenly, she's gone. Replaced now by the figurine that kind of sits there on the ground.
I pick it up.
Yep. Rubrion looks over at you.
Oh, that's interesting. Is she always like that? Are you missing your little toy?
Guess down here she is.
You mean down here?
I keep her at my side as still idle.
Mm. Keep your secrets. It's fine. I have my own.
He settles in a little deeper into this little nook of the downed tree against this rock and just kind of like uses his wings to kind of completely enfold himself. And kind of leans up against the back there.
I would try and get some sleep while you can. We should be relatively safe. There's enough brush and underbrush around us to make any sort of noise. I don't need to sleep for very long, so rest while you can. Celestial boy.
And just kind of like says that last bit like under his breath with a little bit of a smirk, and then like lays his head back down.
You knew.
His eyes still closed.
Let's just say that there is definitely something different about you.
He doesn't say anything else.
I go ahead and lay down.
You go ahead and lay down. Alrighty. Lay down and you try and go to sleep for a little bit.
I'm gonna telepathically try and contact Carp again.
Okay.
Just only in my head.
Alright. Make a religion check for me.
Nope. I rolled a 2.
A 2.
Plus
The heck?
1.
What the heck, yo? Listen, it's far to get to wherever you are at now. And apparently the cell phone connection here is just really bad.
Apparently.
So, as you kind of fall asleep, praying over and over and over and over and over, and eventually no response, no response, no response, no response. And you find yourself asleep. For a moment, anyway. Dreams become weird here. It's kind of like watching your life and fast forward and then rewind. It's just back and forth. Everything's jagged. Nothing is smooth. Nothing plays out at a normal pace. It's either everything is rushed, and you almost feel exhausted in this dream. Even though it's just that, just a dream. And then it's darkness. And it's like annoying. There's that dripping condensation that you can just kind of feel on you at all the times, and you just occasionally like wipe yourself. It's like ever tried? Well, I'm sure you have tried sleeping whenever the AC is not working and it's just super hot, and there's no fan. There's just stillness in the air, and the air is just muggy and humid, and it just hangs on you. It's like 50 times worse than that. But it's not even that it's hot. It's just like it's just uncomfortable. And you get that might have something to do with the whole being a place of madness. It's that everything is just annoying. Like it's just gets to you. But that wasn't what woke you up. What woke you up was like the crunching sound of the log above you. Like something heavy was on top. And you hear it. It's like your eyes kind of start to flutter open a little bit. Something's breathing, leaning over this log that's above you. And that's when your eyes open. What is that? You just hear this like low growl. It like the log kind of shudders and cracks above you, and for the briefest moment you're worried that this thing might just collapse on you altogether. What do you do?
First off, I check to see if Oreo's still.
Yeah, you look down.
Onto her.
Yeah, you're still there at your side.
Next thing I know, silently move my hand over to Rubion.
You find empty grass. You look over and he is no longer there.
I want to stealthily move as slow as possible without making any noise.
Okay, where are you going?
I'm just gonna like maneuver my body up, ready to run out if need be.
Get into like a little crouching position.
Yeah.
Make a stealth check for me.
23.
23. Quietly, you bring your legs up, around, and under you, getting ready to move. At the very next moment, you see this large, rubbery arm. The hand probably as big around as your chest. Just the palm of it as its fingers hit the ground in front of you. This arm is like attached to this long, muscular arm that looks like... It looks humanoid-esque, but in this like strange way of like the skin is so tight you can see the muscles beneath it just rippling as it like grabs onto the ground. Humongous claws grab into the soft earth. Another arm comes down, and with it, then two large, powerful legs. This creature stands at the least 10 to 12 feet tall. At the top of its like broad, muscular shoulders.
Oh my.
This long, elongated snout of a mouth. And it looks like it almost has like an ape-like quality to it, as its arms are just long enough to touch the ground. But it is not in any way looking like a primate. It's like something with that body style, but that has like this long snout. It has almost like a crocodile in like length, just barely short of that. Something that looks almost reptilian, but is not reptilian. Its features, its body and skin has a like amphibian's quality to it, where it's just like spongy and, but yet muscles are like very, very present as it like starts sniffing around. Is looking about. And for the moment, it doesn't seem to notice you. It like searches the underbrush, using its snout to kind of like rub through the ground, and then its hands just like drag across the ground, moving brush and bush, trying to like search for anything. You see a small like little tail that kind of like moves around, almost like a cat, like the one that's like playful or searching, just kind of twitches nervously. What are you doing?
Stay my ground.
It turns its body and starts to move slowly away. Then it stops. Starts sniffing the air. And then lets out this low growl as it starts to turn its body back towards you. What do you do?
Pay attention to its moves. If I see it jolt, I'm gonna jump out and try and dodge it.
It looks in your direction, but you are hidden beneath the log for the moment. But it starts looking at you. It like runs its snout just like inches above the ground. It's like it seems to be following some scent. It moves closer and closer to the darkness that is the overhang of the log. It's probably about 10 feet from you at this point. 9 feet. 8 feet. Getting closer and closer.
Have an idea.
7 feet.
Uh,
6 feet. It stops. Its head goes up, and you can see that it is now like towering up and just kind of like filling out. It's like seems to almost give out this like happy, contented sigh. Hello, meat. And it lunges forward. I'd like you to roll initiative. You probably could have got the jump on it. Probably. Oh, let's move this a little further back because, you know, it looks like you're on top of the log. You're technically under the log. All right. Nope. Oh, let's do this one. All right. Do.
Here we go. I haven't done this in a while.
I know. What'd you roll?
16.
16.
Yeah.
All right.
16. 13 plus 3.
Nice. So, let me put the little camera on. There we go. So currently, you can see this large creature. It's like super close to where you are at. And you go first. So, what would you like to do?
First off, bonus action, Hunter's Market.
Hunter's Mark.
I haven't used that shit forever.
No, look at you go.
Yay.
Oh, look, someone already got eaten.
Yay. Wait, what?
No, it's just the sound. It's just a part of the music. Hunter's Mark.
I'm just casting at first level.
All right. Ow, I just ran over my foot.
I'm gonna go up next to it and use the 2 swords.
All right.
Attack.
Run up to this sucker.
$17 for the first one.
Okay. 17 for the first one. 17 hits.
Yay. And the second one, 18.
18 also hits.
So 1d8 plus 4. 28. So it's 5 plus 5d6. So the first one, 6 damage.
6 damage.
Second one, 10 damage.
Nice.
Wait. 1d8 plus 4. 5 plus 4 plus 1.
That's 10. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm forgetting the plus 4. Second one was 1d8, which is 5. Plus 4, that's 9. Plus 5, that's 14?
Yes.
Yeah. Modifiers, I hate you.
All right. So as you slice into this thing whoosh, whoosh, with both of your swords out, it like starts to slice through some of the layers of the creature, but you can see almost as quickly as that gash appears, it closes up. Where the wound was, there's like a splatter of like blood, and it just kind of like reels back from the sudden movement that you came out lunging at it. But that wound that you saw on it just closed back up.
Oh. That's my turn.
That's your turn.
I
All
only
right.
always say oh.
Oh, as you just like, oh shit. It like kind of laughs into itself almost as it like rears back. It's like, and it like lunges at you with a claw. And that first claw is going to be. Oh, wait, no. I'll just do it over here. Dang it. The first attack is going to be an 8 to hit,
Nope.
and the second attack is going to be a 22 to hit.
Damn.
So as the jaws come snapping at you, you manage to like dodge just for a brief second, where you can feel the jaws snap shut with this like almost concussive force right where your head had been just a split second later. But as you dodge forward, you miss the clawed hand that just kind of scoops upward and claws you up, carrying you up and slamming you against the back of the trunk there. That is going to be yoink. I need to move all this shit. That is going to be a 8 points of slashing damage. Yeah. As its claws strike you. Alright. You can hear somewhere in the distance the sound of another creature moving out there in the woods. It is now your turn. What are you doing?
Got a total for 16 for holding concentration.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, you're fine.
What am I doing? Should be some- Pull out Oreo. And I'm gonna summon her.
Okay. You go to try and summon it and nothing happens. As you have not had a full long rest yet.
Oh fuck.
Like you like, go. And it stays in your hand. Go. Go, please.
Oh fuck. Put her away. Just continue attacking.
Alright. It's like a fuck. Okay. Go for it. Go for the attack.
15 plus 8.
15 plus 8. That hits.
Second attack. 18 plus 8.
18 plus 8. Also it hits.
$13 damage for the first one.
Alright.
$14 damage for the second one.
14 damage for the second. Alright.
It's only 1d10 when I'm holding it with two hands, right?
Yes.
I believe so.
It should say on there. It'll give you the option.
Roll it. Yeah, for versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Rolling the right things.
Alright. You slice through it once again. It cuts and it cuts. And each cut, you can see it sprays this blackened ooze that seems to like spray partially on you, but then partially on the ground too, just kind of adding to the collective wetness that is around you. And in that, you see those wounds like start to heal back up again, just like close. Like the wounds, it's still like bleeding, and you can see it like taken aback by it, but it is not. It's like it seems excited that there's something is giving it this like challenge. That ends your turn.
Yep.
All right, it's the creature's turn now. You also hear from above you on the thing. You can hear what sounds like smaller things that are running through the underbrush, like clambering towards you. The creature is going to try and grab at you again with its hand. That is going to be a 18 to hit. Shield. So as its hand like comes down to try and grab you, you can see it's like even though it's trying to like tear at you with its claws, it's also like trying to wrap its hand around you, and that arcane shield just kind of bursts in front of its hand and just like stops it in place, and you can just see it like and then it like dives its head down to try and take a bite out of your shoulder. That is not going to hit as a 9. Again, it like as it tries to bite down, it like strikes at the shield instead, and seems frustrated with its like attempts at trying to attack you. It is now your turn.
Okay. Just in case, I'm gonna, with my swords, cross them, like that.
Yeah.
Then point at him and cast Chill Touch.
Ooh. Chill Touch.
And that's a dirty 20.
All right. All right. That definitely hits.
2d8s.
It is a ranged attack though.
Yeah. Oh.
So if you'll do me one more favor, roll one more time.
Yeah. 17.
Still hits.
Sweet. 7 plus 5. 8. 12.
All right, I'm gonna put another. So it is currently cursed, right?
It's not cursed. It's
well, like it can't
it
regain
just can't regain hit points until the start of its next turn.
All right.
Until then, the hand clings to the target.
So this little ghostly. So how
It's
would you just?
necrotic energy too.
Yeah, go ahead and just. How would you describe this happening?
When I'm crossing it and then send it, it's
Yeah.
literally gonna manifest at the
As
tips
like a
of
hand, just go flying towards it. Nice, I like that. Like as you release the swords from side to side like that, that energy just kind of expands outward into this ghostly hand that just kind of like wraps itself around the creature in front of you. Like takes like a step back as it prepares to move forward again. At the end of your turn.
Yeah, I don't have shit for bonus.
All right. You finally hear over the top of the log something like clambers over and then falls to the ground. I'm going to use these little slimes. But it falls to the ground. And you can see it's those little amphibian creatures, those little monster things from the rocks you had seen earlier at some point. You can see now that it has like these little whips, almost have like a metallic chain like vibe to them, and they like sling it out at you. It's going to make a attack with this chain or this like rope like thing, and that is going to be a 18 to hit. The shield.
No, I'm not
Uh,
going to use it. Never mind.
No, he's like, because this is a new round, right? So it would only last for that round. It only lasts for one round. Shield.
Yeah, it lasts for 1 round.
Okay. So yeah, it was for that last round, correct?
Yeah, I don't want to use it.
Okay. So the chain smacks out towards you. That's going to be 8 points of slashing damage. As this rope like chain comes out and smacks you, it like hits with almost like a bullwhip sort of like thing, and just like smacks hard. You can see where like it tore some of the skin of some of your exposed skin. As it finishes that, another one falls on the other side. Whoosh. And like as it like jumps over and like also fires off another attack towards you. That is going to be a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that's
The other chain like smacks out at you. It's another 8 points of slashing damage, as now you have these two other smaller creatures that just like jumped over the edge there, and you find yourself wondering, where the fuck is your friend? As now it is the creature's turn. As it like sees it's the two little things here on the side, it kind of shoves one off to the side, almost as if they had been working together. It's like, no, mine, and like brings out a hand towards you. That is going to be a 14 to hit.
Nope.
That one doesn't hit. He like tries with his other claw to get you. This one's going to be 20.
shield.
Shield, nice. The shield comes up once again, blocking its attack from penetrating. You can see the claws just barely like through, and then it kind of just holds like inches from your face. It is now your turn.
Well, fuck. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cast Chaos Bolt at 4th level against that one creature all the way at the other one.
One over here.
So also 2 hits.
So it's like this thing, you like the claws are just inches from your face. You reach out your hand and blast off this bolt of energy.
25.
25 hits.
Here comes the big ones. It's 2d8 plus 46.
Oh, here we go.
First off, the d8s. A 4 and an 8. Force or thunder? It's gonna be force damage.
All right. This little energy, crackling energy that forms around your hands, just vibrating with pure magical power.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna need a calculator for this. 8 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6. 31 damage?
31? Dang. All right, so as that's awesome. As you fire off this bolt of energy, it just crackles and spins with like white and dark power as it like fires and blasts this creature backwards. It's like almost comical how this thing was like like preparing to like bring its whip back around for another smack at you, and it is just evaporated as it just bursts into little pieces and just dissipates everywhere. There's nothing left. You can hear like brief little chunks being thrown into the underbrush far beyond where this thing had been.
I think for my bonus action, I'll just take a swing at the big dude.
Okay.
16.
16 hits.
Oh shit.
He does not have a. I mean, he's a big guy. He's a damage sponge, not a blocker.
$13 damage.
Dang. Very nice.
Thank you, Hunter's Mark.
That is saving your butt right now. As you like fire off a bolt and then stab forward with your sword, it stabs into the creature's side. It's like, ugh. But it still seems to just smile at you. And from somewhere far beyond it, you hear crashing through the woods something else that's large, bounding and leaping its way towards you. That ends your turn. It is now the little creature's turn. That's going to also try and it's going to, having seen what you just did to its friend, it's going to back up a bit and hide behind. We'll say there's like a little bit of boulder right here, so we'll just move that over here. It's gonna like run around the corner and just like and launches its own little firebolt at you. This little burst of fire energy flies out for a whopping 12 to hit. The fire like flies towards you, and you kind of like deflect enough of it to where you're just kind of like move the energy and kind of move it up past you, so it just like strikes into the damp tree above. It is now the creature's turn in front of you. And it's just like now it's really just trying to like lean into its strikes against you. The first one is going to be, oh my god, Becky. That is going to be an 11 to hit. No. The second one comes in. I'm switching dice for a 10.
I'm rolling well with this one.
Yeah, as it like brings its fist down, like trying to like slam into you. You like expertly dodge to one side as it slams into the ground. With the other one, you're able to like use your sword to kind of almost parry its arm over and sideways, so it like slams into the tree above you, causing more like wetness and like bits of wood to just fall over your body. Finally, emerging from the other side of the forest, you see another one of those creatures emerging from a distance. This is gonna be running. I'll just knock everything down. So it's like coming through this direction. What is its range? 30. So it gets to there. It's just like running on all fours towards you. You can see as it runs in your direction. You hear from above you what's could only be described as like a whooshing sound, as something flies, like swoops through the air and like hits the treetop above you, and you can hear the two like footsteps on the ground, and you hear a shout in Infernal of just like ah! And two fire bolts light up the night or the darkness that is around you and slam into this beast. That first one is going to be a natural 20. Ha, of course. And the second one, oh, that was cocked. The second one is going to be an 18. Both of these hit. So for the natural 20, that is going to be 9, 13, 26 points of damage. And then the second one that attacks is going to be 8 points of fire damage. As the two bolts like smack in like you, it's like one of those like war movies where you see the ground just kind of like blow up in front of it with fire. It's just like as it's like running forward, and it like for the moment stops. But you hear above you, "Sorry for the delay." Oh, whoops. My bad.
Sorry for the delay.
Wow.
I forgot. Listen, I've got a lot going on. It is now your turn.
It's like about time. Well, I'm gonna move first off between
I'll just
between the
use
big
this
dude
character.
and the small one.
I'm
I'm still gonna be in range.
Yeah, you're just kind of you duck. You kind of do like a tuck and roll around this way. Okay.
And when I do that, I'm gonna use my action to use radiant consumption.
Okay.
I'm gonna go full on nuclear, you bitches.
Like you roll around, you're just like, "Ah!" You just,
Super
you're
Saiyan.
Super Saiyan, yeah. Just like
And
this
bonus action swing.
swing.
I'm gonna
Oh,
attack
swing.
them.
Okay. Yeah. So there's this burst of light. There's kind of like, it's like one of those like subdued depth charges. Like, this is like this light suddenly bursts from you. Light and flame just kind of circling around you in this crazy, like spiral of energy. Did you natural 20 it?
Yes, I did.
Nice. And as you like spin around and completely wreathed in fire, your wings, your spectral wings just expanding outward, shooting from your shoulders. You bring your sword back around, which seems to like be catching the fire, energy, and light that is exuding off of you. The creatures that are around you just kind of like shielding their eyes from this sudden flash bomb of light. And go ahead and roll your damage.
You're gonna
Make
hate
your roll
this.
your no. I mean, hey, this works out really great for you.
So it's a natural 20. I do the double damage on just a die.
Yes.
So that's 12 plus 14. 12 plus 4. That's 16. Plus 3. That's 19.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 10 for the extra radiant damage.
All right. So we're at
So
29.
From one hit.
Very nice. As you like swing your sword up and around, it carves like the blade comes striking through its body. How do you want to do this?
I literally want to strike through where the head actually comes off.
Nice. So as you like spin back up and around, it's like its head snarling towards you, this large maw just like trying to like go in for the attack on your body. You just swing upwards, that fire and flame pulling from your magic as you had just done this explosion. It like slices up and through the creature's head, just completely severing through it. And for the briefest of moments, as it happens like just so fast and quick, its head just stays there snarling before it like falls forward onto the ground, its body like starting to like twitch and convulse around you.
And now that I'm ending my turn, everyone within 10 feet of me takes 5 in radiant damage.
All right.
No, it's too hot!
The little creature yells in Infernal. He's like, you can see there's like parts of his skin is starting to like alight and blaze.
Do you round up or down?
For what?
Because I take 5 as well, but I'm also
Round down.
at 2.
All right. Does that end your turn?
Yeah.
This little guy, seeing all that just happened, is going to like turn and try and run off into the like so I'm on fire because he's on fire. He's just like so
Am I close enough for an opportunity?
yeah.
I don't know why I'm 16.
16 hits.
Sweet. That's 7. That's 3. That's 10. So 20.
20 damage.
Because
I mean,
with the radiant thing.
Right. No. I believe you. I'm just like, holy mother of jinkies. I mean, yeah, it only had like 5 hit points left. So I was just like, you just obliterate another one. You just like, you follow through with that like swinging attack, and like that fire and light just kind of follows it through, and it creates this like those little anime like chopping motions, you know, and it just falls to the ground like bisected in half in 2 little pieces that just fall and tumble, and then just kind of like.
We rolled a 3 plus 4. That's 7 plus 3 from the hunter's mark plus 10.
Yep.
Radiant
That Jamina checks out. That ends its turn. You can hear that the forest around you seem to have had a lot more of these little guys around, but now they are starting to scatter, leaving only the big guy that is now like running up towards you. He like runs and like goes like into the air, and just like and just like starts bringing down his like claws to try and attack on you. The first attack is going to be a 14. Fuck my life. And then it brings its other claw. Oh my god, with a natural 1. As it like brings one claw in, and like you dodge, like quick step over to the side, and that's the point where it's like it's now like, oh my god, this was a bad idea. It's like there's just so much heat and flame around it, and you can see that its skin starts to like sizzle and crackle. And it's like, and just like it like takes a little. I'll give it. It takes like 2 damage from just like starting to burn because it got too close to the sun. Now you can hear Rubrion above you. He is going to this. He's going to fly down, leap next to the other creature, and kind of come back around. So he kind of like lands on his feet, grabs himself in his wings, and kind of does the tuck and roll to kind of come up around behind him, and he uses, you can see this great sword that he just like pulls out that he's been using, and he starts hacking at this thing. His first attack is going to be a 13, and the second attack is going to be a 14. So that is going to be oh, I get to use D8s because he's using both hands. Oh, those are D12s. I'm an idiot. These
I
are
know.
D8s.
I'm not used to D8s anymore.
Yeah, this is going to be 10 points of slashing for the first strike. And then for the second. Oh, and as he's doing, oh, it's us. Oh, why am I just? Okay, well, as he's like swinging it, you can see that his blade is also fiery. As he like swings his blade one way, it has like this dark greenish flame that kind of licks at the air as it passes through it. The second attack, it was only yeah. Second attack will hit also, right? So let's do these. This is going to be it's a crappy rolls. 11, 12 points of damage. And it's like, as he does the second swipe through it, it also slices through it, and you can see that there's like this little like greenish black flame that just kind of burns through the air with his swings.
Blade.
Yeah. Or something. It is now your turn. And he moved it into position behind you.
Oh,
Or behind it, so you have advantage on these attacks.
I'm gonna attack.
It's like, let him have it!
19 for the first one.
19 hits.
Natural 20 for the second one.
Nice. Roll for damage.
6 plus 4, that's 10. Plus 2, that's 12. So 22.
22.
22 damage for that one. Now for the
Nice.
natural 20. 9. No, wait. 2, 4, 8. Roll a 2, so double that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 4, that's
That's
8.
8.
Okay. Plus 6,
Okay.
14.
Uh-huh.
So 14 damage for the second one.
How do you want to do this? You hear Rubrion back there just like,
Got him!
The first one just cuts straight through him to the point where I can see the radiant
I
damage.
love that the music got all rock and rolly. Yeah.
And then the second one, I'm gonna literally stab all the way straight through.
Stab that sword straight through it. You can see Rubrion take a step back as the sword like pierces straight through the creature. You pull it out with a flourish and throw the blood onto the ground. And the creature just tumbles forward, of like hitting the ground at your feet. You see Rubrion looking around.
Well, you certainly know how to handle yourself.
I'm gonna power down.
You kind of like appreciate that. Sorry if I worried you. Just stepped away for a minute. You can't be left alone, can you?
I at least took care.
Well, that you did. Are you sure I can't convince you to stay here? We could make quite a formidable duo, you and I.
I think I'd rather be on my plane, though.
What is one's home plane anyway? When you could travel through the multiverses. Just food for thought.
comes over and puts a hand on your shoulder. Make a wisdom saving throw. With disadvantage.
15.
15. There's a brief moment whenever he puts his hand on your shoulders, and you kind of tense up, just out of instinct. His eyes loom. He's probably about a foot taller than you are, and he kind of just looks down at you with these golden eyes. You kind of get lost in them for a moment, and then kind of just like shake your head. You feel calmer, relaxed.
Sorry. Maybe I should have asked first. You were a little tense. Just a little calming of emotions. I tried to find us some more food. I found some. But then it looks like something tried to make you food instead. How about you try and catch up on some more sleep? I'll stand watch. I promise not to leave you this time.
Okay.
Sleep.
And I go back.
You go and lay down and get back into that comfy spot. You can see Rubrion comes over to where you are at and kind of leans back, wrapping his body around with the wings again. Just kind of leans back on the tree.
Sleep well, my friend. I hope you have pleasant dreams.
And it takes a moment. But the sleep comes. Eventually. And that's how we're going to end this little mini session.
Damn it.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
All you fucking sweetie babies out there.
Okay, well, welcome. Here we go. I don't know how else to start this, but we're just doing this. We're just doing it. We're just freaking doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That tree is
As-
gonna fall.
yeah, you're just waiting for it, right?
I'm getting right at it.
You guys are rising to the surface, and like as the water above you is starting to get you can see the surface is kind of breaking somewhat close. Pigug, you're like full on like swim for the surface. Martel, you're like close by enough as you're coming out of this abyssal darkness of this infinite void of dark water. 'Cause that's so scary. As you to eventually get close enough to the surface, and you're like, it's not that panicked swimming either, because you've been breathing underwater now for it seems like just moments, but from the depths from which you emerged, it probably felt like longer. And you break the surface, and the two of you are like immediately like take a breath of air instead of water. Kind of like it's a weird transition of like you had the water in your lungs, and so you just kind of like cough it out, and now yeah you're just kind of spitting out. I want both of you to make a perception check for me.
That was unpleasant.
16.
And so was that roll. 8.
8. Yeah. Those are perfect. Perfect rolls is what they are. Looking around, you can see now the two of you within close proximity, but you see no one else. And you see, kind of looking around, you kind of keep waiting for somebody else to emerge and come up to the surface, because as you had traveled down, you had been following each other together, and then there was that weird switch moment of like sinking to suddenly being like upside down the water and seeing the surface below your feet and having to like right yourself and start swimming upwards. And you had kind of remembered in that darkness that there had been that presence of others, but now as you are treading water here in this vast ocean of dark and black water, your eyes adjusting to the darkness there, you don't see anybody else.
Oh, bother. How dark is it? Out of curiosity.
It's pretty dark.
Like dark vision dark?
You're probably right at the cusp. And as your eyes are starting to adjust, you're starting to see a little bit better. You can't see terribly far, but you can see up. And kind of over onto your right, you see that there is this like, you know how a lot of times in movies and stuff, when you go into a cave and suddenly there's like that phosphorescent lichen glow that kind of like seems to light up the space. It's kind of has a little bit of that. And you see far, far above you, colossal stalactites hanging from the ceiling. It seems like you're in some sort of underground cave. And then over to your right, from where your guys are floating, your right, Martel, Pigug left, there is another glow. What looks like it just kind of backlights what might be an island or some sort of landmass that's probably a couple 100 feet away from where you're at. You can see the beach and hear like the roar of waves crashing on the shore not too far from where you're at.
So we're just kind of treading water right now.
Right.
Well.
Martel!
Hello,
Where are they?
Big.
Do you see them?
I don't. Zebal!
Like,
Wait, can Pigug swim? I just thought about
Oh,
this.
fuck.
like,
That's
Oh,
Pig.
Maybe
I'm like-
over there. And I'm like, start.
You
I'm
start
like, oh,
singing
no.
and go up and
He starts
down.
like doggy paddling.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I was just thinking about that. I don't think we've ever had Pigug swim in anything before.
oh, Pigug's never had to.
He's been living in a desert, so
Well, yeah, but even before that, I don't think they've ever been. I don't think he canonically has ever been near enough water to where he'd have to swim a lot.
He never really needed to. No, he didn't really grow up around it. And
Yeah.
usually you pee in the water. You don't swim in it. So
right. Yeah.
Is that what you do? Is that the rule that I did not know that you are supposed to pee in water? You don't swim in it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not like I bathe either, so it's not like it makes a difference. So
Sand bath. I can see Pigug now out in the sands, and he does like those birds. It just kind of like
It's a-
waddles down in the sand
It's
and
like
then comes out
the
and just
little-
like dusts himself off. Like I'm good.
it's the little chinchilla thing where I'm just rolling around. A little. Yeah, that's Pig.
Oh my god, it's canon.
Yeah, he just scrubs off the mud, wherever. the
Give
dirt
yourself a
and grime.
pat, but with sand.
Yeah. So he was very clean, very clean.
That's
So,
Amazing.
anyways, Pig is concerned but also drowning, so he's gonna try to get to that shore.
well.
Alright.
I imagine you're not actually drowning, because
I mean, he can like dog paddle, but it's like very energy intensive.
well,
you
can
know?
we still breathe underwater?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so that's true. So
Yeah.
you won't drown. You're just being
I just
submerged.
can't
Just
talk,
like, this
really.
is
I can't get above
bullshit.
the water to talk to Martel. So I'm just kind of like,
It just occasionally comes up from the surface and
Struggling
goes back
to,
underwater.
like-
Occasionally
Yeah.
comes up, goes back underwater. But you can see the Pigug is swimming now towards the shore.
and I'm sure Martel's basically just floating, like his head's like.
I am very small. Yes.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So we'll start swimming, and if Pigug looks like he actually needs help, I'll do what I can. Easier to help him in the water than out of it.
All right. So you guys start swimming towards the shore. Go ahead and make gonna make either strength, I guess, to swim or constitution. Cause yeah, we'll do strength is fine. Let's see how strong you are at swimming.
17.
Nice. Pretty strong.
Oh, I'm still trying to figure out this app. D20.
You're good.
19.
19. All right. Pretty easy enough.
So
You
you're
guys
better than
make
me.
decent. You guys you get into a rhythm of it, Pigug, and now you're kind of figuring it out. You watch Martel, and you're because of your grandmaster war training stuff. You're able to mimic people's moves, right? So you're able to you can tell if someone looks dangerous. You watch their body move and you're like, oh, I could do this, and you start mimicking it. And with your physical prowess, you're just able to do it a little
Yeah.
better. So
I never had to learn to swim because I knew I would just be able to do it. You
you
know,
pick it up
Pigug
like
had no concern. Yeah.
a
Called confidence.
Yeah.
you picked it
Some
up
of
like
you
a
could learn
I'm
some.
floating on confidence right through that ocean of death or whatever we're on.
yeah. You guys
Very
start
weird.
swimming. Yeah, you start getting into the hang of it. You guys kind of start keeping track with each other. And at some point, you're probably about 100 feet or so off from the shore. And Martel, you swear you feel something bump against your leg in the water
Oh fuck.
as
Is
you
it
guys
like
are
a-
swimming.
Is it like a rock or like a thing?
No, something like you felt it bump and slide across, and then just went away. It's like when your leg was in the process of kicking, it kind of hit it, and then you just felt it move and carry across your leg as you keep swimming.
Oh fuck. We need to go faster.
Must go faster. Must go faster. Let's see how many Jurassic Park references we can throw in here. You guys are swimming. You say this how you tell them out loud.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Pigug.
Starts
Tries to
going
amp
even
it up.
faster. Yeah.
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 You go faster. I want both of you to make perception checks for me.
Fuck. Don't like that. Oh, 21.
21.
15.
21, 50. All right. Martel, as you're swimming, you hear the sounds of the I love that I'm just doing like this.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, this is what we got. Anyway, so as you're swimming along, you hear, aside from the noises that you guys are making as you're swimming, and the sound of the waves that are in front of you, you hear noises of splashing behind you. You can
All
just
right.
hear a water movement coming behind you.
Keep swimming.
Do I get the sense that
actually-
it's going to get us before we get to the shore?
You just
Well,
notice
they
there
got-
is something trailing you in the water.
Does it sound like somebody doing the motions we're doing, or does it have a different kind of quality of sound? Like,
Well, right now Martel's the only one that noticed it.
oh, then
'Cause he
Pigog
rolled it.
will just keep swimming.
Same question.
Same question, yo. In the moment of like listening to it, it sounds like water just having almost like water being split or moving. It doesn't sound like splashing of arms. It just
Oh,
sounds like
dear.
the sound of water displacing around something. And it's not like it's getting louder, it's just displacing behind you. But you can kind of hear it in the intermittent moments of your own Eeyore's and Pigug splashing.
How far are we now?
Probably about 75, 50 feet away. You can
Okay.
feel like the pool of the rising of the waves as you're like getting closer.
I'm gonna get try to kick it into a little bit higher gear, but I'm gonna get ready to. Actually, hold on. I might be able to do something about this. Just look at these special monk powers real quick. No. No. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, so I'm I'm gonna say a little bit faster, Pig. A little bit faster. And
You guys are going. You guys as fast as you can. I need you guys to make another strength check. So you guys
I'm
are swimming.
also try to get ready to if it comes within striking distance, I'm just gonna fucking smash it with my sword.
Cute.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
You've
Pigog is
got
obviously
11.
like at this point kind of like, okay, something must be following us. He's like, maybe it's them.
I don't think so. They wouldn't be making those sounds.
Oh, well. Pigog's like, what sounds? It can't even hear. All right.
You ever seen a shark?
You ever
I
seen
rolled a
Meg?
19.
19.
Mhm.
All right. All right. And then what was yours, Martel?
11.
11.
Not great.
Ooh, this thing is keeping pace with you, Martel.
Okay,
It seems to be, as you see, Pigug is like picking up the pace, and like with your concentration between what you're doing, Pigug is like outpacing you, and this thing is not getting any closer, but it's not stopping. And you're probably like, you're getting there. You're getting there. You can feel
like
like the
that.
waves going down and up, and you hear for the briefest of moments like this just low rumble that kind of echoes through the water. Just like, and it just kind of like, it weirdly echoes in the water as you get closer and closer to the shore, and you're just like probably 20 feet from the shore now at this point. What are you guys
it's
doing?
Releasing gas underneath it.
It just
And it
farted
smells
underwater.
of sulfur.
Yeah, it's just really bad. Welcome to the
All right.
abyss. We have
Damn
Yeah.
demons.
They're quite
Farting-
gaseous.
the world
Why did
of
we get the
The-
shittiest demon?
the realm of farting sharks. That's what we are at right now.
This is why you shouldn't piss in the pool.
There we go. So you're almost there. You're almost there. You just keep swimming.
Yeah.
All right. One final strength check from the both of you,
Come on, baby. Get me the fuck
because
out of here.
it rolled the same that you did last time.
Oh,
That's
I
why.
got a fucking 10.
I got an 8.
Ooh, so Pigga, noticing that you have slowed down, has slowed down as well. Ooh, this thing, you feel now the water, you're being pushed, and this solid something like pushes against your feet, but doesn't, it just kind of like pushes against you. And for a brief moment, you stop moving and you're just being pushed onto what feels like this leathery crocodilian snout of some sort. And you could like, you can feel the snout move up past your legs and against your like belly. And you can see that it's probably about like 4 or 5 feet wide at its narrowest, as it just kind of like pushes you up and closer and then sinks down below and moves away. You can feel the water kind of swirl around you as you both reach the shore and are able to kind of like touch the ground. And you turn around in that instant, make perception checks, both of you for
Oh,
me.
it was friendly. He was just trying to help us out.
He's like, get out of the fucking water.
Shit's about to get weird in here, man.
He's like, people be peeing in here. You don't want to be in this.
Did you hear that monster? He said he shits in water.
Get out, you disgusting. All right, 15.
15?
15 as well.
All right, perfect. So you guys like get to shore and like kind of both of your hearts just beating fast. You turn around. You see this massive shape of leather and fins that just kind of like rolls and roils into the water just at that edge where you had been deep enough. And it is very akin to seeing something that looks almost like a crocodile, as it has that like leathery segmented skin that kind of just like goes above the surface and then down below, and then like but it's long. It's almost serpentine, and you can see briefly for a brief moment like where that snout it kind of is. It's like pacing along the shore. There's first one large eye, and then like 2 smaller ones open up behind it, and you can see it just kind of eyeing the shore as it kind of just like continues to move across and then dip below the surface of the water.
So, was that going to eat us?
I don't know.
You see it kind of surface again, going back the other direction that you guys were coming. That is now going back towards where you're at, but not towards you. It just kind of, it's almost like it's patrolling the edges of the shoreline where it's deep enough for it to swim, and it's just kind of keeping it. You see another pair of 3, or not pair, but a triad of 3 eyes that kind of just open on that one side as well. As it just kind of eyes you, and as it like slowly swims, kind of basically patrolling the shoreline that you were just at.
I don't think Piglet wants to find out if we're dinner.
I don't think Martel does either.
But, Sybil, Gruff, did they make it?
I'm sure there's a reason they're not here yet. This is an odd place.
The creature dives below the surface and disappears, leaving you on this smoothed, pebbled, rocky shoreline. It's
Hopefully we don't have to go back through there to get to the surface again. I don't know which way's up anyway.
Neither do I. Hopefully, it's been contracted by those sisters to guard this area. If not, they're going to be in for a very rough, very rude awakening when they do get here.
Well, let's count on that then.
No.
And so I turn back around, like facing away from the shore, and kind of look on the island, see if there's like
See what you can find.
what. Yes.
Make a perception check for me.
9.
Can I also make a perception check?
Of course.
Right. Wait. Oh, fuck. That's not my character sheet. Boom. Boom. 15.
15. What was yours, Pigug?
9.
9? Okay, that's what I thought I had heard, but I wasn't sure. All right. Looking about this darkened islandy kind of exterior that you see, you are on this smoothened pebbles and rocks is like the shoreline here. It's not really sand so much as it just crashes on this rocky shore. And the beach line, as it were, runs up for probably another 100 or so feet before it starts into like this really dense looking jungle. And it's basically you're looking through dim light, so you can see, but everything is darkened and in shadows. And you can see that a lot of the light seems to be coming from just like the surrounding area. There's no real direct source, and it's kind of a little disorienting because you're not sure where the light is coming from, but you can kind of see it's consistent.
So,
You kind of turn back around to this black inky water that you just came from, and you can see that it just goes on for what seems like forever before it just is too dark for you to see and make out any difference between water and darkened sky. And then the more that you look up closer to you, you can see that it's just like this infinite cave that just seems to go on in all directions. There's no walls to it. It's just the ceiling. The sky is cave until you can't see that far anymore.
Well, if I were Galil, where would I be?
That's the point. We didn't get a good idea of where he was. So out of character, what do we know about Galil? Because I actually don't know anything.
You can you have someone who knew him once. You can ask. But from what you know that he was part of the group that helped liberate Silvery Moon.
Okay.
You guys had met him briefly.
Yeah. Okay.
Very dark, cloaky, kind of like ranger-esque looking fellow, but also had some sort of tie with Saloon and Afriel. So he's like, there is something very clerical, very like almost holy, saintly to him, but he kind of like also appears completely opposite of that because he doesn't dress like a very holy person. He just very dark clothing all the time.
Like a dirty priest. Okay. So, Pegog. You know him better than I did, I'm sure. If he were here, would he be causing disturbances? Would he be killing demons?
Oh, Galil? He has no fear. None at all. Sometimes it even scared me. And he had one of the shiniest faces I've ever seen.
Shiniest faces?
You'll see it sometime. If we find him, of course, which I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we will. Yeah, it won't be a problem.
So, would he be causing disturbances? Well, if someone pissed him off, I'm sure. Or, maybe, why would he come here? I knew that his heart, he cared very much about those he loved. Maybe there's some reason he's here for somebody, something.
Well, I hope I hope he's resolved whatever that is, if that's the case, or else we may be here a little longer than we had planned.
But knowing him, oh, go ahead.
No, you finish.
Oh, but knowing him, wherever he is, I'm sure he's just as, well, he wouldn't be scared.
He wouldn't be scared. Would he be? Does that mean he wouldn't be hiding?
No.
No. So he should be very easy to find. We just need to find the disturbances. I can't imagine things here don't piss him off. I've
Well-
only been here for 5 minutes, and I'm already a little bit pissed off by some of these things.
If it's true what they say about this madness, I fear it'd probably be a while before he would truly be affected, but I wouldn't wait too long.
No. And we don't know how long he's been here exactly either.
Pigug.
Mhm.
This whole time, it's been. I mean, and this is not like a. This happens very often. But you feel that presence in your mind again.
This bitch.
I'll leave you alone for 5 minutes, and look where you are now. A whole
Yeah.
new place. What is this? Where are you?
Well, what can I say? You know I get around. Or so am I like saying this in my mind?
Do I hear that?
No, this voice
yeah,
is this
or-
voice. The voice is in his head.
Right. But do I hear his responses?
I don't know. Do you can you
Okay.
choose whether you talk out loud or you're talking in your head?
I can say it out loud.
Okay.
Um,
Perfect. I love that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, not you. Never mind. We are here in this abyss, right? And all that we were told was to come find somebody, right?
Yep.
Now, if you're gonna help me or not, you better tell me now, or else, leave me alone. I'm trying, busy.
I'm gonna help you, Pigug.
Not you. All right.
You seem rather flustered. Perhaps I'll come back later.
Oh, so that's it?
There's no
Well.
response.
Whatever. Yeah, let's go.
I'd like to make a roll to see what I know about madness.
History check.
History check. Oh, I'm dumb as hell. This is gonna be great. Oh, I got 7.
7.
That's good for a -1.
Yeah, not bad at all. So as you are like, what you mean to say, like, what you know about madness in general, or what you know about madness like relating to the abyss?
Madness related to the abyss.
Okay. Madness relating to the abyss is from a little bit of time that you had to kind of like look this up or had spoken about it to Ariella. You have this little flashback when you were waiting for Gruff to finish his devices. And you remember that Ariella had told you that
When it comes to madness in the abyss, it can manifest itself in different ways. There are times when you will see things that are not there. There are times when perhaps your closest friends and allies become your enemies. There is no one way of madness. It can be anything. An itch stuck on the back of your mind that just cannot be reached. It's like needing to sneeze, but it never happens. Or it can be incredibly excruciating pain with no relief.
could be anything.
Great. Very helpful. Thank you.
I love the fact that I said scratch on the back of your neck that you can't, you just like, I don't know if you did it on purpose or if it was
Yeah, I did.
subconscious. Okay. Because I was like, he's going crazy. What's happening?
I mean, obviously, that's what happened. I think he's going mad. And then I go mad because I think he's going mad, and he's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah, I'm in the same one.
This guy
What
talking
is-
to his fairy companion.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like,
but
I'm not crazy, you are.
yeah, I'm not the crazy one here. What is? I need to get this written down. What is your passive perception on both of you?
Be decent.
16.
17.
Oh, cool. Martel, you see down the beach. If you were facing the forest on your left-hand side, a ways down, you can see the faintest little glimmer of shifting amber light. Almost like perhaps a fire?
We sort of nudge Pig. See that?
Piglet, you look in that direction, you spot it, and it's only because has a 17 and you a 16 that he just noticed it a little faster than you did. But you do
Okay,
see
yeah,
it very
good for him.
distantly. Good for him. You do see very decently, very distantly, this like little flickering amber light, and it's probably a mile to 2 miles away, but it's just enough to where you can kind of make it out in the darkness. It almost looks like a star, as there are no stars, but it kind of twinkles like that distant light.
Well, my friend, we can either go that way, and I point to like the forest that looks like creepy as fuck,
Yeah.
or we could go that way.
My vote is we go that way first. Something tells me we're going to have to go into the creepy forest eventually.
Is it the board with all the trees on it? No.
The what?
Oh, nothing. Well then, buck up, boy. Let's go.
All right. As you guys continue along the beach, you can hear in the distance like the little sounds of little creatures. The more that you walk, the more you can the noises seem to have not followed you, but they're just now, you're noticing them more. Perhaps your sudden appearance on the beach had quieted whatever creatures were around, but now you can hear the occasional croaking and crying sounds of things out in the distance.
So I turn to Marcel and just say, so, if that is a fire or a camp or something, and they are this obvious about it, my guess is they aren't afraid of anyone out here.
I imagine you're right.
So, should we just approach them as friends?
I think we should. Obviously, we should, scope them out a bit first, but as that may not be an option here.
If it's only one, maybe only one of us should go and introduce ourselves.
Maybe.
And that way, if there's more, well, at least we'll have a little bit of a...
Have some backup. How are you at hiding?
Pigug does not hide.
I didn't think so.
But Pigug does creep and stalk and do all the other things.
All right. Maybe I should go first then?
That is your wish? I'm all for it.
All right.
All right.
Get back up, Pigug.
Yeah, so I'll kind of like stand far back enough where it's like if somebody was going to see Martel coming in, they kind of would see me out of range or out of sight,
Okay.
I guess.
Okay. So you trail behind him a little bit.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so as you guys are walking along, are you doing so carefully? You're just like running out there?
I'd say doing so carefully. And no, I don't quite have anything that'll help me with this. Yeah.
All right. It takes a little bit of a walk, and it does seem like it just goes on forever. And it's kind of maddening. The fact that as the longer you walk, the like it just never seems to get that much closer. And you start wondering if you've just been, it's almost like you haven't moved anywhere. You look and you see the jungle and you kind of just keep track of the jungle as you continue to walk, but it looks the same. And the same, and you're like, I just passed. You see, in fact, you notice that there's a log that you've now tracked like 2 or 3 times, and there's no.
Are we sure we didn't fall through a rabbit hole?
There's just like nothing makes sense. You feel the not quite exhaustion, but you feel the exertion of having walked for a while, but. You assume it's a while. There's no change in light. Nothing seems to feel like there's any sort of time measurement here. It's just this ever-present, always the same moment. And it's starting to kind of get under your skin a little bit. The fact that it's just like, what is happening? And then almost in a moment where you're like, turn around to see if Pigug is noticing any of the same things. And you turn... And he's like, you can see him probably, 50 feet behind you?
Yeah.
A little closer, a little less, further?
Let's say about 80 feet.
80 feet. So, okay. So you see him behind you and he's still following. You turn back around.
One of these.
Thumbs up.
I'm like, what is he doing?
You're all doing like this, like, what the fuck?
Pigug's like, the madness is already spreading.
I know. Each one is thinking that the other one's going crazy first. As you are walking and continuing along, you turn and you're like look back at Pigug and you turn back around, and the fire is closer, but like suddenly so, as in like probably 40 feet in front of you, you can see a small dying campfire that sits around a fenced off area almost. This fence is like ramshackle and made of like driftwood, so it's like a barrier of sorts, but it's not it wouldn't really keep anything out. It just kind of creates its own little barrier. And there is one what looks like some sort of mud hut that sits by this fire. But you were there, and probably like 25 or so feet from the edges of this perimeter of fence. And the edge of the perimeter of the fence is probably another 20 to 30 feet to where the campfire and the little hut sits. What do you do?
Well, it'd be rude not to introduce myself, so I'll walk up just a little bit closer and, hello? Is anyone home?
You wait. And wait. And wait. There's no response. Pigug, are you stopping or are you walking up closer?
I'm stopping and I'm trying to stay like crouched down. But I hear him say that out loud. Do I hear him say that out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would imagine you could kind of hear him calling out.
Saying it kind of loud, yeah.
But I want to message him.
Okay.
And I message him and just kind of like speak to him and just say, if you're in trouble, do that signal that you did earlier, whatever that was.
I love that this is now going to be the universal symbol for I'm in trouble.
And you do it with a big smile too.
Yeah. This is
I'm
great.
in danger.
Perfect.
Okay. Can I message or
You can
This
reply.
message
Yeah,
come
you
with-
can reply.
Okay.
You can reply.
I guess I'll just say like, will do. And I'll start walking towards the campfire. I guess I will First, I'll make sure that there's not anything immediately that's gonna like come out and bite me or stab me or whatever. Get a little perception check going.
Mm-hmm.
I got an 11, so
An
I do
11.
a really bad job of that.
You look around as best as you can, and then there's something about the familiarity of like a fire that keeps drawing your eye, and just kind of like it feels nice. You want to be close to this source of light because it is the only source of light that you guys have seen outside of this pervasive, weird, dim that just exists in this place. But there's nothing that seems to have any sort of movement or anything. You don't sense any creatures outside of the normal jungle things that kind of are out there somewhere.
I will stoke the fire and see if I can get it going a little more.
Okay, as you approach the fire, you see that there is a little tripod that's kind of set up to it, and it has like a kettle of some sort that was like set over off to the side.
Oh, that's nice.
There's a couple even bowls, clay bowls. Looks like they were handmade with some sort of mud and stuff, but they're there. I'm gonna change this because this sounds a lot more intense than
Hanging out by the
bulls!
campfire.
Not the bulls! Oh, no!
Oh my god!
It's a teapot.
You look closer, and the bowls are filled with blood.
All right. So
And you pour the tea, and out come the entrails of the last traveler who was here.
You
yum.
recognize those entrails as your own. They just.
I don't have to do anything. You guys can manage your own horror so well. It's great. All of these things are canon now, and it just happened.
Would you like some tea trails?
Oh man.
I've never heard of tea trails before.
Perfect. I can't get any better. So seeing this, and you can see that there is an entrance to this hut. You can continue to investigate around the area if you wish, or what would you like to do? Go ahead and make an investigation check. Pigug, what are you doing?
I'm looking around the fence, just kind of like. I'm still kind of like walking around the outside
Keeping
of the
the
fence, but
perimeter?
always keeping an eye. Yeah, always keeping an eye on Martel.
Okay, make either perception or investigation check for me. 4?
4.
Wow, you are doing such a good job,
I'm
sweetie.
rolling very bad.
Oh my god,
Also,
like
I
you
have
are
-1s in
so
intelligence because
you
I'm
are so
stupid.
good. You are so good at the lookings. At the looking of things, at the searching of
Aw.
things.
I like
Mom?
things that are moving. I don't like things that aren't moving.
Right. Looking around, this place looks like it had been inhabited. You
Base
check out,
camp.
yeah, some sort. There's an opening to this hut, and it's like looking closer and looking around it. It's not quite mud, but almost like large plates of carapace of some sort that have been covered in mud. Like there's obviously like they've been like moved and stacked on each other, and then the mud has kind of been used as almost like a mortar to kind of like stick them together. But it looks like this hut is almost a mixture of mud and some sort of shell or carapace of some sort, almost insect-like.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like a turtle killer or something. Then
Oh,
we'd
no.
have to be angry.
Yeah.
Okay, but cockroaches, that's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. We don't care about
Actually,
them.
these seem like guys I'd like to hang out with. We have the same values.
Death to insects. There is like a hide or leather cover to this hut that covers up the door, and the inside is dark. There is no light coming from the inside.
I guess I'll just peer through the tarp a little bit,
Okay.
carefully, sort of.
Make another perception check for me then. Pigug, as you were walking around, you two notice like the little hut that kind of stands in the center of this space.
Thank you. 23.
Oh, nice. There are pathways, as most of this beach is still rocky. There are a couple of trails that seem to lead off into the forest, and they seem to be like smoothened or hardened packed dirt. They kind of lead off in the trail towards the denser sections of the forest, and then kind of run along each side of the coast, going back the way you came and continuing along the coast.
So there's some obvious trails here.
Mm-hmm.
And do they look like it's made like single file or like they're wide trails?
Probably single. They're a little thinner, so single file for sure.
Okay.
Found it.
Oh, the can. Oh yeah, you were missing your can opener. It's good you have one. You never know.
You never know, and it's always good that you have one. Yes, especially
didn't
when
even
you're.
know I was looking for it.
Yeah, he found it.
Neither did I.
Actually, he just found it in the hut in the abyss. That's where it was this whole time. With that
Crazy how
20,
things get lost sometimes. You never
Right?
know where they're gonna be.
with that 23, you found a can opener. It's pretty amazing.
Honestly, at
on
this
the
level
floor
of
right now,
technology, it absolutely is.
Peering around and kind of letting the light from the campfire move inside, you can see that this little hovel is indeed. I was like so confused for a minute. I was like, "What are you doing?" Got you. You're peeking. Got it.
Peeking.
Yeah. You need to move just a little bit more. Just a little bit
sorry,
more. There
right.
you go. Now
right.
it looks like you're peeking. As you're peeking through the window or through the door, kind of try not to part it too much. You can see that there is another fire pit there in the center, but it's been long since extinguished, or there is no glowing embers there in the center. You can see that there are more leathers and what looks like skins that have been laid out on the ground, and it smells really bad in here. You know, I mean, this is a really sad thing to say, but do you know what a mangy dog smells like?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that,
Cool.
with like a little bit of more of a leather tinge to it. Pig. David, you're just like, yum.
Just imagining like like a
you some of
furry
that.
wearing like a whole bunch of leather. That's all. Like maybe
Dang.
a wolf or something.
Yeah.
That's
That's pretty accurate. Yep, sounds right.
Well, I think I've had my fill of this little camp. So I'm going to turn around and get the fuck out of here.
Okay, Pigug, what are you doing?
I see him kind of like leaving, so I'm gonna message him and say I'm not. I guess by this time I've kind of walked around to the other side
Yeah,
to where the two paths are.
You haven't seen like anything all this way around.
So I just message him again and say I see nothing out here, but there are two trails that lead away.
I imagine the trails are important. We should probably try to stick with them.
All right. Any food left over?
There had been some sort of stuff inside one of inside the main kettle that you had seen.
Technically, yes. Actually, how does it look? Let's have a.
You both walk back over there to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just join him inside and
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, because it's pretty apparent that there is nobody here. The main kettle or cauldron of sorts that has the stuff inside has what appears to be some sort of gray oatmeal-esque colored substance there at the bottom. It almost looks
So-
like somewhere between oatmeal and like clam chowder, once it's like
So-
almost solidified.
And it's mostly gone.
There's, I mean, I would say there's like maybe a fourth left, a fourth of the cauldron. It's not like empty, but it's probably, from the look of it, from the outside, there's a little bit in there.
Can
It's not
Pickle
like-
looks to try to see, like how, like can he tell to what level it was filled up?
Make an investigation check for me.
While he's doing that, does it look
Ooh.
like good? Like, could he technically eat it without getting sick? If it wasn't just going to poison me anyway.
Right.
I rolled a 9.
9.
Killing the
There's
investigation
probably,
checks.
you notice that the bowls, one of them still has like a little bit in the bottom, and the other bowl looks like it had some in it as well, but they didn't look like there were 2 bowls that had food, so probably indicating 2 people had been here at one time. One of them is a little lower than the other, but neither one of them seemed to have finished their meal. And looking
Neither
at
finished?
neither finished it. Like there's still like just a little bit left, and then the one kettle still, it probably had been up to like halfway with whatever was this thing, but it's now currently cold. It had been heated in the fire, but it is now like cold to the touch.
What's in the bowl, right?
Yeah, all of it. Like
All
the
of it,
one
all
in
of
the bowls actually look a
Oh, the
little more
cauldron's
like
off the fire.
the cauldron's off the fire and set off to the
Okay.
side on like a little rock. But you can
Okay.
pick up the cauldron itself is like cold, and it's probably only like that big.
This big?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Oh, the cauldron.
the
Sorry,
cauldron.
I thought you were talking about the bowl. I was
the
like,
bowls.
oh,
Yeah. No, the bowls are like
hand size.
Yeah. They are.
Okay.
I have. Yeah.
So Pigga just is trying to
They're
reason.
like this, like a little bowl.
Ooh, cute. Okay. Well, I see 2 bowls. Honest, they don't look like they finished a lot of food. So maybe not big, maybe small. And they didn't finish it. Maybe not that hungry.
That makes sense to me.
No meat either. Right?
Mm.
They're like there's chunks of stuff in it, but it's like I said, it looks like somewhere between like a clam chowder and an oatmeal paste, but it's
Okay,
just
like a fishy.
yeah, it's just like some, but it's kind of like solidified a little bit, almost looks like a chunky gravy. It just kind of like you kind of shake it a little bit and it kind of jiggles, but not by a lot.
Pigga tries one of the chunks. He puts it in his mouth.
Make a Constitution check for me.
Ugh.
Gotta say-
He puts it in his mouth and he doesn't swallow.
Okay, yeah. Make a
He wants to taste the texture of it. Where's Constitution? 14.
Okay, you don't immediately throw it up, but doesn't taste very great. It's like chewing on the like cold, fatty bits of like a steak or some sort of meat. It's just like squishy and yet like stretchy, I guess, to a certain degree. So it has like a weird consistency to it. It's like, and then there's like bits of it that almost taste like grainy. It's not pleasant, but you don't immediately like spit it back out. But it is not a pleasant sensation. It tastes like maybe with appropriate razzle dazzle, this could maybe taste good, but this is like super bland. There's no salt. It's not savorful. It's just like something that squishes.
Okay, so Pigga is just kind of like, or use some salt and then spit it out. Well, it looks like they haven't been here for a while, and they left it like this. So
You start looking around on the ground, and you can see that there are indeed this like section has been hardened enough with dirt that there are footprints.
yeah, and well,
big
we
are the
could either
footprints?
stay here. I mean, we could wait for them, stay here, and see if we can learn something from them or try and follow one of those paths. I'm sure they must go somewhere.
Make investigate the footprints. Go ahead and investigate the footprints.
Sure. I don't know if we want to necessarily wait for these people at their homes. I think we probably want to catch them while they're already here. You know what I mean?
True, Pigug probably wouldn't like that either.
Yeah,
Well then, shall we go?
I think so. I got a 2.
2. You can see a lot of like boot-esque shapes to the ground. One of them appears to be barefoot. There does seem to be someone had shoes and someone who is barefoot. And looks like maybe some smaller prints. But it's with a 2. It's kind of hard to
Those
tell.
are some tracks. Yep.
And they kind of move around the fire pit. You can see some of them closer into the abode.
I pointed at the tracks and I was like, they were here
And then there's
And
some
here.
over there.
and here.
Pigug's just like, well, okay.
He's like, my God.
This man's amazing.
The best tracker. You're like, I'm so glad I got stuck with this one. This one is definitely a winner. With your I mean, just with passive investigation on your end, Pigug, like you're like, look at what Martel was looking at, and you do see that there are some footprints there. You do see that there appear to be some sort of creature's footprints as well. Paws of some sort? Big ones.
So at this point, I don't think. So this is out of character, but I don't think Pigug knows about Galil and any pets he might have at this point, right?
Not anything that he has at this point, but you know what he had before.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this could be him, but Galil did tend to have animal companions. And it looks like there was a creature here too. So, maybe a man, a child, and a pet?
Would he have a child with him?
That, I don't know. Maybe a light-footed figure.
Perhaps. It could be an old halfling, not a child. And they'd be very angry with you if you called them one.
Pigug does not judge. So, I think I guess Pigug is gonna try and see where those footprints went off to. So, and then kind of ask Martel, or like figure out. I mean, he's gonna follow the tracks to see if they which direction they went, and then ask Martel. So, do we follow them?
I think, yes. I think we follow them. It would be incredibly fortunate if this turns out to be our man already, but...
And if not, maybe at least they can point us in a different direction.
Perhaps so, yeah. This is the only... this is the only lead we have.
It's the only clue. It's literally a trail of footprints. All right.
So follow the footprints.
Right.
We follow the footprints.
Who is leading this?
At this point, Pigug, because he noticed how Martel didn't know. He looked at him. Pigug's like,
investigating things.
Make a survival check for me.
Survival. 17.
All right, 17. You start following the tracks, and they lead the path to where there's like this like open part of the fence where you guys had left, and it comes up to the point, Pigug, that you had seen where the tracks or the trail split off in different directions. And it makes it up to that point where the trail goes into the forest itself, into the dense darkness beyond. And then
So
they
the-
kind of start fading, but they start fading as they go further into the forest. This trail that leads into the forest, you can see, is the least traveled of the others. The other ones along the coast seem to be more traveled more frequently. The one that goes into the forest itself seems to be a little narrower and more already overgrown.
Pigog's just thinking like, well, we can either waste time following these footsteps into this forest and get lost, or maybe just follow one of these trails. It might lead us to a bigger city or town, or I don't know what they have here. Someone
Right.
else.
Once you get to, as you like following this trail, make a perception check for me, both of you.
19.
Shook.
19?
25.
25. Throughout this duskness, and even as you approach the edges of this forest, there seems to be more light that seems to be coming from the horizon beyond the depths of the forest. And it's strange because you feel like you hadn't noticed that before. It had just seemed like dark rainforest jungle. But for whatever reason, now here at this point, there does seem to be almost like that a sky glow that's deep on the other side of the forest.
Like a rising ball of light.
No, just,
just
like
like
a
a
faint,
pinpoint?
just like a faint glow to
Glow.
the horizon, almost like when you see a city in the distance from far away.
Okay. So it's, like
all,
emanating
but
from
it's
something on the
from
ground.
something beyond the forest that you can't see, but it's just barely there in that distance.
There's light over there.
And you definitely see it, Martel.
Yeah. It's funny. We're just sort of walking through the darkness searching for light. Well, shall we do the same maneuver again this time?
Piggo's kind of thinking about, Martel's awareness, and was like, maybe this time Piggo will lead. Because also, Piggo feels a lot more comfortable inside the forest, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, sorry, let me rephrase that. Piggo feels like he likes darkness, so he's kind of more familiar with that, and he kind of got, I don't know, he's kind of getting the sense that Martel doesn't like the darkness.
I can like the darkness. Probably. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to cast Dark Vision on myself right now.
Okay.
If only for, RP purposes.
Fair enough.
Not running around like an absolute goon.
And Piggo watches him do it, and it's just like, you could have done that earlier.
I just wanted to make sure that I needed it, and I do.
Maybe this time we walk together, though. I don't think it'd be a good idea to go through this forest without keeping an eye on each other.
That's probably right.
All right.
Yep, so-
as you cast that on yourself, Martel, you start looking around at the surroundings of the jungle as you start walking through. You see the abyss now for the first time in a way that you hadn't noticed as much before, and it's by slightly I mean very disturbing. The now at this point there is like this dampness to the, you can't even say greenery because everything just looks like deeper, darker shades of blues and greens that are almost nearly black, Maybe some things are even purple and reds, but it's kind of hard to tell with the light that you're seeing or had been seeing. Now that you have dark vision, this dim light you can see as if it was regular light. And you can see now what Piguk has been seeing. And Piguk, you see, like, looking through this forest as you guys are trekking along. Do I have? Kind of. As you guys are walking through, you just... This is not like a normal forest. You've seen some forests, and you've seen nothing really in the what's it called? Like Amazon jungle kind of variety, but that's kind of along those lines, if you will. It's like as you guys are like moving some branches around as you like pass through bits. Everything has this like slimy wetness to it. It's like it had just been raining. Everything is just wet. But as you move a branch over to the side and you kind of like try and take this wetness off or shake it off, it's just slick on you. It's almost like this oily substance of something that just doesn't go off. And the more you rub it, the more it just kind of spreads on you. And it just kind of like, you have to take a moment as you kind of like try and wipe it off, and it doesn't wipe. It just spreads further all onto you. Everything on the ground just has this almost oozing quality of like looking at mushrooms, where it's like just different shapes that kind of bubble and boil around. But it's like it's the earth itself. It's not mushrooms sticking up. It's just the ground looks almost like it's in like little patches. And you follow along this trail that it's still visible, but it's kind of like overgrown with like branches and things as you walk. In the trees above you and around you, you can hear and see occasional little blinkings of eyes that kind of like look at you from high above. And those, for a brief moment, like something like flutters suddenly as you approach and goes flying off in the distance, and it just kind of startles you for a second because there are no like birds that you have seen. Is just like something that goes fluttering off and flies off, crashing through trees and branches. But you never actually see anything, and that's what's kind of like freaking you out a little bit, I guess you could say. Is just like there's never a moment of like seeing a creature and then watch it startle away. It's just hearing the sounds that just kind of seem to be coming from all around you, but never actually seeing the source of those sounds. And you continue on, deeper and deeper into the jungles of the Gaping Maw. And that's where we're gonna stop for right now.
Now I want to take a shower, Aaron.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it'll help.
That might actually make it worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
You know, maybe.
button.
The buttons! Don't press, not the gumdrop buttons! Anyway.
Gumdrop buttons.
Alright, so.
You monster.
I am a monster. I'm not the monster here. You are. So, as you guys.
Eat me.
Perfect. As you guys are feeling that weird swapping sensation of where your bodies were just, for whatever reason, sinking deeper and deeper and deeper beneath the waves, beneath the water, into this dark abyss. Suddenly you feel the gravity like shift and your body reorient itself, even though you haven't really been swimming. Have you ever been swimming in deep enough water to where you're like suddenly upside down?
Yeah,
that sudden
well, I've done that a
feeling
couple times.
Where it's
That
like
weirdness.
it's a weird feeling of like being weightless, but then suddenly like water's going down your nose but up your nose because you're now at this weirdly weird angle. That's what we are having happen right now. Is suddenly you can feel that shift, and you're now swimming upwards, and far above you can see the like. I'm gonna do the wave here. The surface of the water as it just kind of like. It's still dark, but it's not as dark as what seems to be like this just ever expansive darkness of water around you. There's no light coming from anywhere else around but up, and so you start swimming upwards. Sybil, you can see Gruff kind of like swimming ahead of you a little bit. Make both of you strength checks. See how that swimming's going. Or yeah, we'll just go with athletics. Yeah, thank you. That was the word I couldn't think of last time. I just had them do strength checks, but it was athletics that I was looking for.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my strength's so much better than my athletics. God damn it, I fixed this.
I got a 12.
A 12? Cool. What about for you, Sybil?
Thinking about it. I think it's a 9. Yeah, it's a 9.
It's a 9.
It's annoying.
It's a 9. It's a
Been
9.
annoying.
All right. So yeah, Gruff is a little bit ahead of you as you guys start rising to the surface.
If I see Sybil, I'll
Like a
go
perception
down
check.
and try to help. Yeah. Ooh, good perception. Nat 20! 25.
Hey, not only do you see Sybil, but even below her, you see the rising of a third figure as Arieli seems to be coming up to the surface as well. Interestingly enough, the veil that was covering her head no longer is a veil, but what looks like a metallic shimmering helmet that kind of covers her face and leaves just like the lower half portion of her face exposed, but it's like a helmet that kind of covers her face, and her horns kind of extend out in this like ram's horn kind of thing around. It kind of almost like
That's
looks like
beautiful.
the horns keep the helmet in place almost, because the helmet is like neatly grafted to the underside of the horns. It's very interesting how this upper, but she's like swimming up underneath the four of you, and you guys eventually get to the point where you break the surface, and now you are just floating in this darkness around you. And you do help Sybil to kind of swim up faster as she's kind of a little slower in her robes, I guess.
Yeah.
Never been very graceful.
You what?
She's never been very graceful.
Oh. You know,
Very
this is the first time.
Track record.
This is the first time for everything. As you reach the surface, start looking around, Arieli pops up in the water near you.
Where are your friends?
thought they were behind us.
She looks about and then like dives down below the surface of the water. You guys now on the surface, make a perception check. And it is dim light here.
14.
14. Do you have dark vision, right, Gruff?
Yeah, 60 feet.
Okay. Do you have dark vision, Sybil?
Oh.
I do have 1 second. I'll pull out the lantern.
Okay.
I'll like try to light it.
Alrighty. What'd you say, Sybil? Sybil!
I don't have dark vision, and I won't.
Okay. Alright. I can hear you now, yes.
Yeah, there we go.
It like lagged out for a second, but you are back with us again. As you are looking about, you can see that there is this strange, like the dimness doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere. There's like, this place should be pitch black, but there is a light here, but it's just faint enough to keep it from being dark. You can see probably, well, I guess for you, Gruff, you can see a good 60 feet pretty clearly, and then beyond that too, it just kind of like hazes out into this grayish black that just expands. You also see that there is what looks like a landmass that's probably a couple hundred yards off to your left-hand side. It looks like maybe an island with like some sort of tree line of jungle and distant, maybe higher hills, kind of go up into eventual darkness. Directly above you, you see the surface of a cave with monstrous stalagmites hanging from the ceiling, peppered across with various what looks like tiny sources of like not fluorescent lighting, but
Bioluminescent?
bioluminescent lighting. Yes, thank you. I was thinking of like those mushrooms. I was like, there was another word for it, but yes, bioluminescence works. Eventually, Arieli pops back up on the surface again.
No. I believe your friends are either moved by the currents once we transported ourselves up. I'm sure they are probably at shore already. Shall we? We need to start swimming that direction. It is not safe out here in the water.
Right.
Swim quickly and with purpose.
She starts swimming. Did you take you said you took your lantern out?
Yeah.
Okay. As she starts to swim past you guys,
It's like, you might want to turn the light out.
Right.
she starts swimming.
So
I did
do
this
that.
just like that. Just start swimming.
Okay.
As you guys start swimming towards the shore, go ahead and make an another athletics check. Acrobatics as you cartwheel in the water.
The 19.
19.
8.
8.
Yeah.
It would seem that this time. Oh, let me go ahead and roll for Oh, 19. Oh, perfect. Arieli is kind of like, and Sybil now on the surface of the water have now gotten into a nice smooth pattern, whereas Gruff, you find that your fur is like kind of dragging you down. There, you're not as aerodynamic as these smooth skinned creatures. So it like slows you a little bit, but you manage to keep swimming. Arieli kind of like is leading the way a bit as you guys continue to swim. You're probably about 75, 60 yards out now. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. As you are doing so, from somewhere deep below the water, there's this like vibrating, clicking sound that you hear. Just kind of like catches you slightly off guard for the moment as you're like, you can hear it, but as well as feel it. It's just like this little pulse of like. And you keep swimming, and Arieli seems just
Where is it?
doesn't respond. She just keeps going.
Can I cast Detect Thoughts?
Sure.
Or, roll... Okay. I do want to cast Detect Thoughts.
There are creatures in the water as I'm swimming.
Oh, you say that
And
out to
I
her?
want to...
Out loud.
Go ahead, Sybil.
I want to know how, sentient the creatures in the water are.
What's
If I
the
can
range?
detect
What's the
their
range?
thoughts.
What's the range on that?
It's,
Let me see. Pulling it up.
see within 30 feet of
30 feet.
me.
Okay. So with but this one is like a little different because it's a little different than the spell. But so within 30 feet or so, within 30 feet, you kind of, as you're reaching out, you can see or sense at the edges of your senses, there are a large something that is just below the surface of the waters.
Mhm.
But it's just far enough down to where you can't really get, you know something's down there. And you sense it now. And it's curious.
But I can't tell whether or not it's malicious.
Not yet, because it's. I would say it's just because it's just far enough down that you can't quite get a ping on its feeling, but you know that there is something down there, and you get the general sense of curiosity.
Okay.
But you keep swimming, and Arieli responds.
Yes! Many things. Much larger than us. Keep
Oh my.
swimming! Do not stop!
She keeps going,
Right.
and you hear it again. You hear this like. I'm curious because there's this button here that has a sound, and I want to know what it's. I know it's not going to be the right one, but that sounds more whalish. That sounds more benign, but
Oh.
imagine that, but like deeper, and then there's more of a like a. Yeah, it's just more of a.
Ooh. I
It
like
sounds
this.
almost like
this
mandibles. You know, you can hear. Like,
Yeah.
you know what mandibles kind of like. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, Griff is gonna
But
start
it's-
swimming faster.
But it's down there, super far below, and it because you can hear it. You also like can feel it in the water, and that's what's so very unnerving. Is that you start so you start swimming faster. Let me this up a little bit. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go again.
Yeah. The sound sounds closer this time. I need you and this time as you are still rolling, kind of reaching out with your mind, Sybil, you sense that hungering curiosity now as something massive and large starts swimming up closer to you. You can feel the water kind of like there is like this presence now that you can feel of something getting closer to the surface. And Arieli is just like swimming and swimming. She's probably about 15 or so feet out in front of you guys.
Hey, I'm a monk. How far are we from land?
You're at this point getting closer, so we'll say you're about probably 100 feet or so out there.
Can I jump out of the water and run on the water? Because I can totally do that.
At level 10. I forgot about
I
that.
totally forgot. Yes, you can.
Out of the water,
You're just like,
and I can run.
you're just like, fuck this noise. Like you feel that like like those little lizards that run on water. You're just kind of there, and all of a sudden you're just like, you just start running past
Power of feet. That's
past
cool.
Gruff.
Whoa, what the hell?
And you continue onwards. As you're doing this, Gruff, you can feel the water kind of move over to the side. And for the briefest of moments, it's like, oh my god, Sybil, your name escaped me for a second. It's like Sybil is like running, you see her running past Arieli. You hear this splash of water. And something probably about 10-15 feet in front of you, Gruff, breaks the surface of the water.
Oh no.
And you just see like, it's not quite like an alligator scaly skin. It's almost rubbery and amphibian like, and it's just large. And you just see this, it like comes up probably 5, 6, 7 feet up out of the water. And for the briefest of moments, you hear out in front of you, "By the gods!" And then there's a splash of water.
Oh no.
And the body just goes back down. And you see Sybil is now probably like 20 feet from the shoreline. There's like the waves that are like starting to crash. And Arieli's gone.
No! Oh no! Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna go.
You hear
I'm diving in. I'm diving in.
You're diving down.
Yeah.
Make a perception check for me as you do that.
Fuck. No, we need her. 22.
As you go below the surface of the water and you kind of peer down below into this like the depths of this abyssal water, you can see out in front of you, it's kind of starting to now swim away. This massive creature. You've seen Jurassic Park with the water. I cannot think of the name of the water dinosaur, but
Plesiosaurus.
yeah, that whatever. Someone's gonna get really mad at me in chat. I just know this about this, but I know that one. It's kind of like that. Mosasaur, something like that. Anyway, that one, it's about that size, but there's like there's 8 fins on, or there's like 4 on each side as it like swims, and it is like has like this crocodile like tail that just kind of goes outward. And for the briefest of moments, as it kind of like swims down and starts banking around, you can see 3 sets of eyes just blinking open. This like greenish yellow light as they kind of like almost look like little searchlights that start blinking light out into the expanse of this abyss, and then it goes deeper down to where it no longer is seen because it just kind of disappears in the depths. What are you doing?
Give me a second. What do I have? Hold on.
Sybil, you heard behind you the movement of water and the loud splash, and Arieli screamed something out, and then it splashed again, and you just kept running.
Fuck.
What are you doing?
What do I have as an artificer?
Your mind starts racing, and you start looking around, and below you is just pitch blackness. There is nothing but dark.
Even if I can
water.
see in dark.
Yeah, even if you can see in the dark, like it's so deep at this point that it's just like this. You can't see the bottom of the water. What'd you say, Sybil? Oh no!
I got one. I got it.
Go ahead.
I take out a
Can I pull out my sunblade and cast light in?
Okay, you can pull out your sunblade and cast what? Oh, now there's
I just want to.
pull out the sunblade and just light it. Yeah. So as you get to the shore to where now the water is, we'll say the water is like up to your waist, but you pull out your sunblade. What color is your sunblade, by the way? I don't know.
Purple.
Purple. Okay. So you have this purple flash of light that kind of comes out in burning, like a burning controlled flame, and you hold it up so you can kind of light the area around you. Gruff, what are you doing?
I get out some like pieces of metal and shit, and I create a little thing that gives off 5 feet of light.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw it in the water and let it just kind of sink.
All right. As it starts sinking, you just see it like go further and further down. And now, as you're doing that, you see rushing up towards you the form of this large creature as it's now like going towards. It's like going up. It's like just caught the light and now it's swimming up towards you. What are you doing?
I'm gonna pull up shield. Oh no! I cast shield on myself.
Cast shield on yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. You see, as it's getting closer, it's probably about at this point like 60 feet, 50 feet.
I'm also going
feet.
to. Oh shit! No, I'm sorry. Instead of casting shield, I'm going to cast alter self, aquatic adaptation, and I can breathe underwater and get a swimming speed equal to my walking speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
So I'm
gonna start booking it.
Your body, your fur just suddenly goes like tight against your body, and now you have like these fins between your fingers and toes, and you just start booking it towards the shore.
Yeah.
Make an acrobatics check. The last you saw is like the little metallic glowing light bounces and like along the form of this creature as it like kind of falls, hits its skin, and it just kind of rolls down its body as it like starts swimming up towards you.
Okay. Acrobatics. Buddy, that was a nat 2. That was a nat 1.
Natural 1? Oh!
But I have
Hey!
aquatic adaptation.
I mean, it's just the speed at which you're going, and you're still swimming as fast as you can.
Fuck. If I feel like I'm gonna get hit or attacked or something, I will cast shield on myself.
Okay. Do you turn back to look, or you just keep swimming as fast as you can?
I'm just gonna keep swimming.
You can hear this like the same sound again coming from closer. It was coming from closer now, as it just like gets closer and closer, and the clicks grow louder. It's just kind of like that loud clicking echolocation, just like blast past your body, and you just feel like these waves of sound, and it brings chills to your body as you can tell that it's closer. You can hear the displacement of the water as this massive creature swims up towards you, and you feel your body just like chilled because you don't want to look behind you.
Yeah. Just swim with everything I have.
Can I throw darts in its eye?
Can you what?
Or does the water? I said, can I throw darts in its eye, or is it too far under the water to see?
At this point, make a perception check for me. See if you can see where he's at. Because right now you're standing on the shoreline, so you just see the water like coming in on these waves, and you know where he was at.
17.
17. You can see there's like this, because everything is so pitch black, there's like this faint little glow from wherever his little beacon that he had dropped had been. So you have a general idea where they were at, but you can't see anything aside from dark water. You just see below the surface of the water a fading little thing of water, of light.
My sun saber doesn't, the light from that doesn't permeate the water.
From where you're standing, it's still probably a good like 40 or 50 feet away.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Oh my.
This creature, as it's like swimming up towards you right now. You can hear and feel the water start pulling backwards as if there is some sort of suction pulling you back as you are swimming. Does a 11 hit?
11 does not hit. Thank
wait.
God.
11, wait, is this? No,
No,
I unmathed. It's 14. It's 13.
13 won't hit either.
13. Okay. You hear and feel the water move past you as it apparently its jaws tried to close, and there's this resounding doosh, inches from your body as you're kind of the water moved you out of the way, and you scrape against the massive jaws of this creature as you just kind of roll, your body kind of tumbles down, and it just rolls past you. It barely missed you with its bite.
Can I get a opportunity attack?
As it's moving past you?
Yeah.
Sure, if you want.
I'm gonna use Branding Smite. Fuck this guy. Artificer magic. Right now.
Sybil, you see the back of this creature break the surface of the water, and it just kind of starts diving down again. You can see some fins hit surface and splash as its tail kind of goes up and it starts diving back down again.
I want to jump in after it.
All right, you dive towards it again, and now as you dive towards it, you can see about 45 feet away from you, the body of it as it's moving down, and your heart sinks for a minute because you can't see Gruff, and then you see him. What are you doing, Gruff?
14 hit.
A 14? I will say no. It does. You hit it, but its armor, its scales just kind of keep it from actually making any sort of damage or impact. Yeah.
Damn. I just keep swimming to the shore.
To the shore. You can see now, as you're swimming towards the shore, you can see this bright purple beam of light that is Sybil swimming towards you. Okay. Sybil, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm swimming towards Gruff.
You can see the monster is now swimming down into the depths again. You can see where the shore just kind of drops off, and it's diving down into that depth. And you're probably about 15 feet now from where the ocean floor just suddenly rises up enough to where you guys can see it. You see Gruff swimming towards you.
Okay.
How far? What?
How far am I from him?
From him? Probably 15, 20 feet. He's not far. He's swimming towards you, and you're swimming towards him, so that distance is closing really quick. Gruff, what are you doing?
When we meet, I'm going to grab him.
You're gonna what?
Gonna grab me?
Grab him? Okay.
Okay. Okay, cool.
You grab him, and you start pulling him back towards the surface, or back towards the shore. You've now past the edge of that lip where the ground falls away.
Guidance.
Cast guidance on him? Or on yourself?
Yeah, and I want
on him?
guidance.
Okay.
What do I get?
the force is with you. D4?
Yeah.
Right?
D4 on saving throws and...
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can cast it on Will. I can use it on both of us.
Yeah. Yeah, you can roll a D4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of your choice. All right.
So if we need
And so last, yeah.
Fuck.
But you guys are now, you're walking up on this water, the waves are crashing around you onto this smooth, pebbled beach. Then there's just this dim darkness that kind of just permeates everything around you.
I'll turn around and yell out, Ariel!
You wait.
No!
And you don't hear anything.
Oh no.
Can I sense her?
You reach out, make a either religion or arcana check, whichever one is better.
20. Unnatural 20. But it's
Unnatural 20. Perfect. As you reach out with your senses and you try and feel anything around you, particularly the sense of Arieli, you get nothing. And then you feel something at the very edges of your senses, and you feel it before you see it. That creature, now like an alligator, kind of coasting along the water just where the waves start, and you can see those 3 blinking eyes as they seem to be watching you from the shore before its body dives below the surface.
She can't be gone.
I can't sense her.
It's too quick.
You look around you guys now on this beach at the edges of this vast jungle. It looks like a rainforesty kind of jungle. The tall trees. Some forms of familiar, but they are like multiple kinds of trees that have been mashed together in weird abominations of each other. Like drooping branches that look kind of like willows, but the leaves are wide and thick. And it's just a very alien looking environment. What are you guys doing?
We need to meet up with the others. I suppose. So any way that she could have survived.
We need to find out where we are.
I'll look around. Do I still see that like cave entrance and the cave top and the hill
So
we had seen before?
Make a perception check now that you're on the beach and kind of looking around.
Both of us.
Sure.
24. Natural not
24. Nice.
Also 24.
Oh, nice. Looking around, you can see that the ceiling or the sky of this place that you're at looks like you're in a cave. But it's so hard to tell the distance because you see these massive, monstrously giant stalactites hanging from the ceiling. And surely because they seem so large, they must be close, right? Yet at the same time, because of their massive size and how faintly you can see the ceiling that they're attached to, they also seem impossibly high in the air. It's a strange mixture of like distance, and it's kind of makes you almost a little sick to your stomach. Like it's almost like that vertigo kind of feeling of just like it's hard for you to tell one way or the other how far away it is. They are super high up in the sky. You see now this line of trees that is around you. Trees and what looks like giant mushrooms, boulders, fallen timber. The trees range from short, squat-looking things to massively tall, like cypress, tall trees that kind of shoot up into the sky and everything in between. Now that you're kind of focusing in on this other side, on this other area, you start to hear life out in those forests.
We need to find the others. Some of this looks familiar from what I'd seen on shore, so I guess we're not too far off from... If there's any way that she survived, I'm gonna leave something here for her.
Alright. What are you leaving?
I'll put up a more, I'll bring together more pieces of metal that I've taken with me. And as I cast some words, they begin to morph and come together into this little tinkered machine. And it will be a 6-second long recorded message machine.
Okay. What do you say?
That will continually emit this sound. Or whatever words.
Nice.
Well, okay, so we have this. It will continue to make whatever sound we decide for it to make. I guess whatever direction we're going from this beach. Maybe if she did survive, then we can have her meet up with us. Possibly.
What do you want it to say?
What do you think, Sybil? Oh, is she frozen?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Sybil's frozen in time and space.
Oh, I made the wrong machine.
You turned her into time. You did the one that you turned her into stone for a brief moment, and then.
No.
All right, now you're there. Did you hear the question, Sybil? It was what you want the message to be.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. You're back. You're alive. For now.
Oh no. She's frozen again.
It's okay. So, what do you want the message to be? Or what would you like it to say? Whichever you choose. Whatever you choose.
Can you hear
I can hear you now.
me?
Yep.
Yeah, you're
Is it
good.
working now?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
there we
working
go.
now.
That's better.
So we need whenever she exits the water from the direction of exiting the water, she needs to go whichever direction. Where are we gonna go?
Let's head.
What direction do we want to go?
Looking
We would
around
have
on
ended
this.
up on the beach as well.
Yeah, looking around on this beach, it's just like it looks very similar in either direction. So you can either go to the left or to the right, or forward into the jungles.
We should probably stay close to the shore, considering that's where everybody else will wash up at.
Right, I agree with that. Well,
Can I use the force to guess which direction we should go?
Make a Arcana or religion check. I don't remember which one is the highest for you.
They're both the same. They're both ones, not my insight. My
Okay.
insight's 10.
Oh
I got
yeah,
17 though.
go use insight. That's
Well, I still got a 17.
17.
So, yeah.
Looking to
Or,
either what?
I'm for Arcana. I'm sorry.
Okay. To the right, whatever direction that might be, something tells you to go that direction. To the right along the beach.
Let's
You
go
should
there.
leave the message and a sign.
Okay, sounds good. Just in case the machine gets destroyed somehow.
All right. What do you guys want to do for a sign?
Oriole, if you're alive, we decided to go right, and we're going to meet up with the rest of the party. I hope you're well, and then I'll end the message.
So it just repeats itself over and over?
Yeah,
Or-
it'll do like a pause, like a radio transmission. Every
Okay.
like 20 seconds or so, it'll start up again.
Alrighty.
And
And
I'm just gonna
for
plant that.
for a sign, what would you like to use for a sign?
Are there any big sticks?
Yeah, like in the forest.
This
lining.
looking around you, yeah, there's like driftwood, there's some logs,
Just
sticks
like
of various
an
sizes.
arrow, some kind with like some driftwood. And then
Okay,
we'll
you
put
kind
the
of put the symbol, the device close to that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, as you continue along the way, going along the beach to the right, I want you both to make Constitution checks for me.
Oh no. Okay. Constitution is checked. Straight con.
Mhm.
Oh no. 7.
7. 8, 16. All right.
18.
18. Okay. You're fine. Gruff, you feel a little sick to your stomach. Just a little bit. It's like not like I'm gonna throw up any minute, but you feel queasy
Okay.
a little bit. And you guys continue to walk. And there's no change in lighting. There's no sign of this is nighttime, this is day. There are no stars. There's no celestial bodies of any kind. And the dim light, the very almost like smoky, hazy quality to it just exists and it doesn't alter. And you feel like it's been hours since you've been walking. And nothing
Has
seems
the
to
tree line
change.
changed?
You can see that the jungle is so oddly similar that it's kind of hard to tell. And you've been walking for hours, and then you see something in the ground in front of you.
No. That's mm-mm.
And you walk it closer to it,
No.
and it's a wooden arrow pointing in the direction you're headed.
Wow.
Play the message.
It's playing the message. You wait. You can hear a little voice coming from a recorded message. You see the little thing that you've created.
Pretty sure we went right.
Which way did we walk up on the arrow? Which way was the arrow pointed whenever we walked up?
Facing the direction you were walking.
That's not possible.
Something. Make another insight check for me, Sybil.
28.
28. You still have a strong feeling to keep walking. Keep walking. You must keep moving.
Pay no mind. We should keep going.
And you keep walking. You move past it, and Gruff, you kind of walk past. You're just kind of looking down at it, just like boggling your mind. Need you guys to make wisdom saving throws for me.
Oh no. Oh no!
I'm casting guidance on both of us.
Oh yeah.
The force
there
will
we
be with you. The force will be. I'm one
I
with the
forgot
force.
about
And the
my
force
guidance.
is with me. I'm one with the force. And the force is with me.
go.
It only lasts for a minute, but
What was the amount
within
of
within the next
1d4.
1d4? Okay. Do 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 do.
da 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 da.
Oh, a 14.
14.
19 plus something.
What?
19
That's
plus
awesome.
something. Perfect.
Wow.
Looks like a
You-
2.
You continue walking, Sybil, and you get this like little itch that kind of goes up your arm, and you just kind of scratch it, and it goes away. Gruff, you feel an itch on your leg, and you scratch it, and it doesn't go away. It's still there. You kind of scratch it again.
But I'm immune to disease.
No, yeah,
That's true.
but this is something.
Oh, fun.
This is something else.
Oh no.
And you kind of scratch it,
I don't like
and
this.
like you stop scratching, and then it fades on its own, and you're like, okay, and you keep walking, and then you feel something.
Can I tell?
It's like the briefest of like. You ever have like draw your fingers barely across your skin, and it kind of gives you
Yeah.
goosebumps? It feels like that, but prickly, like where you have an itch, but it just kind of travels now, here and there across your body, and you keep trying to scratch. And it's not like a constant
Get
thing.
like-
It's just it's just annoying. It's just like it's just kind of itchy, but then it goes away, and then you feel it somewhere else, and then you feel it somewhere else as you're walking. It's not like a getting more and more kind of thing. It's just like it's just bothersome. It's, would you say, maybe maddening?
No.
Anyway, as you continue along, and it just kind of fades, you see in the distance the briefest little amber-colored light. It looks like it moves and flickers like a star. And the more you walk, the more it's like a campfire of some sort. And you keep walking. And you see, as you keep walking, something on the beach. An arrow made of wood.
What?
And still pointing in the same direction that you are going. The little device mimicking your words, but garbled somehow, almost distorted. And you remember from before, that light wasn't there whenever you had planted this. There was nothing but endless beach. And now it's probably about 200-300 feet from where you had planted the wood before.
But there is a light.
But there is a light, a little,
Further down.
a flickering campfire light. It looks like it's starting to die a little bit. Maybe it doesn't look as bright, but it's there. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna pick up my device. This shouldn't be doing this.
You grab at the device, and when you pick it up, Sybil, you see Gruff pick up a rock. Or smooth, round rock. It just like randomly picks up this rock.
It shouldn't be doing this. Hold on, let me.
Shouldn't be doing what?
It's not. It's garbled. It's not. Hold on, let me see if I can like. Maybe it got wet. This is the second time we've come around this thing.
And it's just a big like
I walk over to Gruff, put my hand on it.
You grab that, and it's just a rock. You take it from.
If you want to take a look at it, you can.
Wanna
It's fine.
walk-
This is almost as maddening. What'd you say, Sybil? You froze again. Oh no!
Oh no!
But I will tell you this, Gruff.
I
There-
walk
there-
over to Gruff. And I just
Oh man, it's
You walked over to Gruff, and you take it from him, and it's a rock in his hand. And Gruff, you see as she grabs it and takes it from you,
I don't
It is-
know.
it's a rock in her hand, and she just looks at you,
no.
and you don't hear the message anymore.
Do I see the driftwood?
The driftwood's still there.
What the fuck?
Hold on, where she's switching around. She's trying to enter with the other one.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna go crazy for a minute. Oh yeah, nope. There you go.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we
Yeah.
can hear. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so, this- there you are.
Yay!
Yay. So for the briefest of moments, Sybil, whenever you grabbed it and took it from him, he
No,
saw.
I did.
Oh,
I didn't touch the rock.
Okay.
I kind of hand on his face. Are you okay?
so Gruff, you saw her take it from your hand, and then it like turns into not Sybil, and Sybil suddenly like touching your face, and you're just kind of like, whoa,
Wait.
taking it back.
Ooh, hold on. And I have like this like
Confused.
very confused like puppy dog look on my face. Where's my device?
And like
I
as
swear
you're
it was
looking
he-
down, and it's just a rock in your hand.
This was. Do you remember me creating a voice device
Yes.
earlier?
Yes.
This was it.
Holding. No, you're holding.
This is
a
not
rock.
it. But it was, I swear. I throw it. Fuck. We
But
should
you
get out
see-
of here.
You see the light. You both
Right.
turn and you look, and there's the campfire. And now that you're this close, that it's like a couple hundred feet away, you can see that it looks like there's a tent or something that is next close to it.
Let's go. Let's just keep going. Forget it. If I keep acting weird, let me know, please. Please slap me or something.
We'll take it one step at a time.
All right. Are you itchy?
Occasionally, but it fades.
It's I have experienced the same thing. We should keep walking. Try not to focus on it.
Okay. All right. Right. Yeah.
All right. So, as you keep walking, and you walk up to what looks like a driftwood, a driftwood fence that's kind of set around.
A few moments later.
You reach this
No.
fence.
Okay.
you reach this fence. I'm just kidding. You reach this fence, and it doesn't look like it's a fence that's meant to keep people out. It just looks like it's a driftwood and log and branch thing to kind of create like a perimeter around this space. And you see a campfire that is starting to die down a little bit, and a little tent that is set to the side there. But it's not really a tent. It's strange. Go ahead.
Can I cast Detect Thoughts?
Sure.
And it's just the 30 feet. Are we within 30 feet?
Yes. Yeah. You're about the edge of the fence line to that is probably like 30, 35 or so.
If necessary, the wisdom DC is 14.
Okay. You get there. Hold on. As you are getting close, you don't sense any thoughts. There's nobody close by. You walk up to the little fire there.
Cautiously.
Cautiously. Okay. Make a perception or investigation checks as you guys get close.
16.
Investigation 15.
Okay. Walking up close, you see that this little fire here has a cauldron that's set off to the side. A couple bowls that are kind of set close to it. The tent itself is almost like a mud hut, but the closer you look, it's not mud. It's almost like a carapace, like large sections of some sort of crustacean or creature that have been kind of put in together with mud to kind of create this little hut. You can see that there is a
Scrub, no!
You can see that there is this this hanging leather like cloth that kind of covers the entrance.
I don't think that I'll whisper. I don't think that belongs to our group.
I greatly doubt it.
Do you think they're here? Do you feel anything?
No, I don't detect any thoughts or feelings. What else around besides the hut? Is anything else different?
You look around and it looks like this place is someone's abode. And you see like supplies, little bowls that are like made to store water. You can see like little jugs and things kind of set over to the side. Looking inside the hut itself, you can see that there are leathers of sorts that still have like fur on them, and it kind of smells like almost like a mangy dog inside a little bit. You can see that there is this one particular bowl that has some sort of mud that's kind of like solidified in it, and it's a big bowl, but it looks like hardened rock or mud now. Whatever was in it probably dried out. A couple of spots where maybe someone had slept, and another little dead fire in the center where it's just like the charred remains of wood. And then you feel it at the very edges of your perception. A thought, a consciousness.
I look at Gruff and I say, well, if this is a Tanner's hut, we need to get you out of here.
very, very funny.
Perfect. You feel it at the edges of your perception, something approaching with a familiarity, a familiar mind. And coming in from outside the hut.
A single familiarity? Just one? How long have you been walking?
Good gods. You know you probably shouldn't be going inside someone's house without them knowing that you're here.
You both leave the inside of the tent and come outside, and you can see a drenched, seaweed-covered Aurieli, like bent over, like at her knees, like breathing heavily.
Oh, gods, but I'm tired.
And she kind of like sits back, plops down by the dying fire.
You're alive. Oh. Wait, how long have you been Is this your place?
Oh, God, no.
Oh.
But it'll do for a moment's rest.
Right.
I've got to catch my breath.
What happened?
I was swallowed.
Oh.
You see now this, like, the helmet has these, like, glow. It almost like Batman, you know, it has, like, these glowing eyes, but it just covers her face, and all you see is, like, just below the nose and down.
Is it really her? Can I tell if it's really her or not?
Judging by the fact that you felt the familiarity of her mind and her presence, I would say that,
aura.
You can tell that it's her. And that is where we're going to stop for right now.
Oh.
Dum, dum, dum! You're right. You right. I'm muted. You're right. You right. I'm muted. You're right. You right. And then started the eternal like loop. It's because I jumped in at the last minute, so I ruined it all. Yay, we fixed it. Well, anyway, the loop of death forever. It's good to thank you everybody who hung out with us this little entire ride. Queer Venture Time and Vix Draws and well, I was gonna say top down, top table, topness, but that's the same. But yeah, everyone, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Looking forward to next week's episode. I did want to leave off with we are going to be having our game next Tuesday, so looking forward to that. Also at the same time, because time is a weird soup, we'll be making an appearance on Dads and Dice. That's going to be fun. The toppiest of tops. And yeah, you got that reference. Yeah, you did. I was gonna do a little end scene, but I think we had a lot of stuff that went down tonight, so I think I'll just save that for next time. In any case, you guys have a great night, and we will see you on Tuesday. Peace out, homies.